They'll line up 45-degree angle from about 45 metres. Left foot kick. Certainly got the distance and the accuracy. Good start for Simon Goodwin. Good start for Adelaide. They're 1-1. The Saints yet to score. We've played 2 minutes.
Yeah, great work from Matty Bode in the midfield there. Young Riewoldt just had full face of goal, but no awareness of the player around him. Bode, a beautiful tackle, dispossessed. And if you want anybody to have the footy in their hands 40 metres out from goal, it's Simon Goodwin. He is a beautiful kick, whether on the run or from a set shot, never misses. And kicking truly on that occasion.
Just come straight back out this way, guys. Wait for the light and we're away.
So restart of the second quarter. Great start by Simon Goodwin, of the first quarter I should say. Stewie low, down low. Quickly, Rashudo out of the middle for Adelaide. And getting back and taking a good mark is Fraser Gehrig. Switching quickly to the outer side. Player out there is Brett Voss. Brett Voss now looks for support, gets a running player. They squeeze it up through the middle. That was Maguire, and the contest there, and there's Nathan Burke once again. Playing on again, Pickett. Saints look to play on at all costs, inside the forward 50 the first time, and taking a mark is Blake. He's drifted down inside the forward 50.
Breeze looks like it's doing a bit, boys. I mean, the St Kilda then kicking into a slight breeze. It looks like it's probably worth a couple of goals, but certainly struggling to get some distance out of their legs then.
So Adelaide 7, St Kilda looking for their first score here.
Thanks, Nate. Don't go over that spot, mate.
And he's going to kick from just inside the forward 50. A couple of steps in, gets a fair piece of it, but just looking for a little bit of distance, has just tugged it left, so that's St Kilda's first score. And as we can see, the breeze a little bit strong, facing left of screen, to which the Adelaide Crows are going.
Benny Hart now from the southern end of Football Park. About to put this ball back into play and decides to go very long, well outside the 50, couple up, one of them was Clark. Chance for Lowe, hand pass, just missed the target there. Doughty in trouble. Well done, Goodwin. Over to Clark and now McLeod. Defensive side of centre. Good, strong, penetrating kick. Riewoldt at the back, stretching over the top. Well done by Gehrig. Worked it close to the boundary, about 20 metres away. Aussie Jones now even closer to Maguire, who's jammed up against the boundary line. And Tyson Edwards, what a wonderful 2 or 3 years he's had. And he goes in short. And he's got Binky, who's outside of 50. He's about 65 from goal. So another chance for the Crows to go into attack. He's going to go sideways as the man a little closer. Play on. Umpire said it didn't go the 15 metres. That was Rashudo. Quickly getting it over toward that half-forward line. A chance for Binky again. Short passes it, and it's okay. To Bode. Gets around an oncoming Saint, and then bangs it inside 50. They'll contest near the goal square. Low at the back. Got his hand to it. It's still in play. Still in play, and away go the Saints. They're in a bit of trouble here. This is Blake. He concedes. No, he doesn't. Now they concede. That was Riewoldt in the end, so that was all a bit messy.
It wasn't pretty at all. A great start again by Matthew Bode. Saw him play a role in the midfield last week against Brisbane boys, and was very good today, starting off the game extremely well.
Yes, good pressure, defensive pressure inside their forward 50 by the Crows. Such an important part of the modern game, Chris.
Certainly was.
Keep the ball in the area. Don't let it come out free. Here's Peckett again. And the pressure is still there from the Adelaide Crows. They've forced the turnover. Benke got it free. Around the body. Quick kick again from Goodwin, is it? And he's looking for his second goal. Just missing Simon Goodwin. Already with 4 possessions, already looking dangerous.
And I reckon he thought he kicked that one.
We're
just about to celebrate too, boys, but umpire are judging that it was just a minor score.
1-2 to 1 point. Played 6 minutes, so it's 9-1. Adelaide lead by 8. Aussie Jones in great form. Into the back pocket, just up from the back pocket. That's sensational stuff, isn't it? By Doughty. Michael Doughty just worked his way in front, anticipated and took the mark, and he'll send this, well, he's deep into attack now, but he'll send this possibly through for a goal. It'll be a tough one though. He's on a tight angle. He's about 60 metres out. Now he squares it to about 20 metres. Peckett did well, didn't panic, got it over to Jones. Short pass is okay. This is Wolf. And Wolf working it away for the Saints out toward the wing.
Milne taking the mark under suppression from Rashudo. Quickly plays on Stephen Milne to Hudgton. Very good last week, Max Hudgton. Picked up 3 goals in a rare night up forward. Enjoyed himself. Max Hudgton brought up his 100 games last year. Only 7 goals in his career, and he picked up 3 last week, so he really would have enjoyed himself. Just squares it up to Moyle. Moyle now gets clear, goes long. Adelaide have the numbers back there. There could have been 2 or 3 take the mark there. But Bickley got it off to McLeod. Breaking free now through the middle. Edwards on a lead. Goes over the back, Jones with him. Good recovery from Edwards. Has a player loose. And that player is the Burton. Burton inside 50. Goes towards goal and kicks it. A great start for Goodwin and Burton.
Generally good. That's a beautiful kick. But Spider let him down. He couldn't quite mark. Wolf in trouble. Was he ridden into the ground? No, he wasn't. Umpire will toss it up inside the attacking zone. 2-3 Adelaide. They're 15. The Saints 1 behind.
Was a beautiful kick by Ozzy Jones. Spider Everett, probably not his best attempt to marking at ground level. Is probably not an area he excels at, but St Kilda probably need to get Hamill out of the goal square as the leading option.
As you saw on the screen, there are 4 umpires named today. There's only 3 actually taking place at the moment. They'll be rotating some young umpires. Colin Rouston and Stephen Grun will rotate to get their opportunity in this Wizard Home Loans Cup. So not only coaches using this as an opportunity to look at some players, the umpires are doing likewise. Goodwin again, off 1 step. Tough contest. Prosciutto going through hard. And I think he's pretty fortunate to get a free kick there.
Yeah, I think she was a pretty fair marking contest, and both players' eyes for the footy. But a great effort by Mark Prosciutto. Struggled a lot last year, especially in the early part of the season with a nasty rib injury. Came good towards the end, and critical player in the midfield for Adelaide.
Brett Moyle just in the hands of the trainers there from that contact. Is up and away now, so that's good news for Saints. And there is the kick from Edwards, just missing the target there with Simon Goodwin.
And that's part of Adelaide's game that they're trying to eliminate, and I know they've worked hard on it over the pre-season just to stop the little 20-metre chips go long and direct through centre half forward. That's why Ben Rutten's there. That's why Mark Stevens will be there at some stage during the season.
Yeah, special comments from former Crows captain Chris McDermott. Here's Ozzy Jones having a good time of it. He's already got a ton of the leather so far in the early stages of this second round Wizard Home Loans Cup match. Over toward Peckett, who's also got a bit of it. Back to Ozzy. Another possession, another kick. Down to about 60. Out comes Hudgton. Umpire blows the whistle and says Maxie's going to get a free kick.
Not happy, Chris?
Oh, just a fraction soft.
Bassett wasn't happy, was it? It wasn't. He high kick inside 50, and the mark is taken by Voss. I was trying to say that Bassett wasn't happy, and Voss has got it, so Bassett can forget about all of that. 15-1. Let's have another look at this.
Oh, look, I guess they pay him these days, don't they? But she's pretty ordinary. And Voss with the foot in his hands, Mark. That position at Football Park is extremely difficult to kick goals from.
So Brett Voss, who played 19 games last year, here he goes, 15-1 at the moment. High kick by Voss. Umpire goes a long way to his right. He really didn't have to move at all because in the end it was out of bounds on the full. It was a poor effort. 2-3-15 Adelaide. The Saints 1 behind.
It was a tough kick, wasn't it, Chris?
You've got to get one right eventually.
Yep. Here is Prosciutto, the Adelaide skipper, going down the wing towards Burton. Love watching this guy play. In front of Blake there, took the mark. Playing on quickly. Out in front of Rutten, but Garrett using the body cleverly. McLeod cleaning up. Off to Dowdy. Dowdy, player on the lead, goes down low, can't hit him. That was Shell. Adelaide need to get someone in there. Peckett. And Peckett's had plenty of the ball early. He's already had 6 possessions and working hard for the Saints, getting back inside his own defensive 50 to get the numbers back there, Justin Peckett.
Probably just the wrong option by Dowdy. I mean, with his leg inside 50, he should have gone at goal. There was an open goal square, and with a bit of confidence, could have kicked the goal.
Stephen Lawrence just getting a bit of preemptive work. Hasn't come on the ground as yet. He started on the bench. And there'll be another ball up. It's about 35-40 metres out from the St Kilda goal. Adelaide lead by 14 points. Just over 12 minutes in this round 2 match, as I mentioned earlier. A little bit disappointing, the crowd. It is a warm day, but they haven't come to watch their Crows play. Here's Bickley. Edwards, clever handball. Goes back to Dowdy on his left. It's not a bad kick. It's a very good kick, and they've got another one. And that goal by Michael Dowdy, the Crows' third.
Also, opportunity for Hamill trying to work his way through. Spider Everett likewise. Well done, Wolf. Got it over toward Thompson. Gee, good hip and shoulder there. And Thompson goes again. Good persistence by Thompson. Out of bounds, right forward pocket for the Saints. 3-3 Adelaide. They're 21. The Saints are 1 behind.
And just mucking around with it a bit at the moment, St Kilda, and just don't look like they've got their forward line structure right at the moment.
So we played just on 14 minutes, first quarter. Spider and Clark right over the top. Here's Prosciutto. High kick. That's by Smart. Ozzy Jones getting underneath it. Good commitment by him. Knock to the front, Hamill. Oh, well done, Clark. That was good. Now they're away. Burton, a couple of free men. One of them's their captain. Who better? Out on the wing, right in front of us. Beautiful kick. Delivery sensational. Rewalt did well. Having to get back and defend. Is Peckett. Now he's in trouble. They're in real trouble. Well done, Rewalt. That second effort by him was outstanding. Shell. Opportunity now. Lovely kick. Round the corner, Bode. He's kicked a sensational goal. Bode for his first. Adelaide, their fourth.
On the boundary, Francis Leach. Well, we'll get back to Francis shortly, but I guess, Chris, as soon as Matthew Bode picked that ball up, you put two fingers up. You knew he was going to kick the goal.
He can play beautiful on the left foot, great around goals. He's a real hunter, knows where the footy is, knows how to get hold of it, and does not waste a touch. Look for him to have a big year for Adelaide this year.
Well, he picked up 19 possessions last week, and he's part of a good midfield, and he's joining a pretty quality midfield with McLeod, Rashudo and Goodwin.
You'd like to be part of that.
Yes, and he's picked up his first goal for the evening. Got one last week, so Adelaide really on top here in this first quarter. 26 points is the margin. So Kilda need to find a winner in the midfield to give some supply to their players up forward. Good smother. It was off Baker. And away goes Dowdy with the left hand. Handball to Smart. Clever play from him. The kick going inside the forward 50. Here's McLeod. What can he do? Plenty. Andrew McLeod, runner-up in the Brownlow. Inside towards Rutten. Puts him under a little bit of pressure though. Peckett. Quick hands from Thompson. Just getting a hand on it though was Edwards. Off the ground went McLeod. Saints have the numbers back and they get it to Lenny Hayes. Courtesy the kick from Voss. So Lenny Hayes right on his defensive 50. Not the same St Kilda outfit that we saw last week, but there's plenty of time left as Aaron Hamill's probably the man that they need to get into the game.
The point's right, they look flat, don't they? They don't seem to have the energy that they had last week. They need a spark from one of their senior players.
Yeah, Bode with a goal, Doughty with a goal, Burton with a goal and Goodwin with a goal as Moyle marks at 85 from goal. He's just forward of the wing, chips it with his left out to Thompson, or Hodgson it is, who's playing up forward this year. Thompson generally in the middle. 4-3-27 Adelaide. The Saints just one behind. Kicks to a very busy end. There's a sensational mark to Lowe with those bucket hands there, Chris.
Magnificent. I mean, you're looking for a senior player to stand up and make an effort and make the difference, and that's Stewie Lowe. Fantastic. I mean, 4 deep at 30 years old and 110 kilo to get that off the ground, Matty. Too good.
Yes, that was a fantastic pack mark, wasn't it?
But I guess, you know, if part of his game may have let him down, and it's been talked about for 10 years or so, is that it is his kicking.
Oh, I think it's really improved.
Goal.
I think it's really improved. I mean, perhaps he was guilty at the start, but I think in kickings over the last few years has been excellent.
Well, let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. He's about 48 metres from goal, and he's
set it up.
Well, he has set it up in the right forward pocket. It's gone through Lenny Hayes' hands. That was disappointing. You reckon he meant that, Bone, or not?
I don't know, Matty. I'll leave that one to you.
I'm still back in next time. That's a tough kick into that, Bruce.
Yeah, now here's a chance and it's 4 through. So a bit of action there just after that little kick in by Lowe. 4-3-27 Adelaide, and St Kilda 2 behind.
He does have the awkward drop though, doesn't he? And when there are windy conditions and swirly conditions like there are today, you can have a bad one like that. You can shank one.
Still plenty of time left in this game, Chris. As Bickley gets it. We head down to the boundary and we say good afternoon to Rob Popplestone.
Look, down here on the boundary, the Crows haven't touched their bench yet. They've got Welsh, Perry, Crowell, Sher, Nelson and Marsh, but in these hot conditions you'd expect them to start rotating forward.
Thanks, Rob. They didn't use the bench much last week as well, Chris.
Did not use it at all. Most players played at least 3/4 and their bench players only played bit parts.
That's a huge clearing kick from Ben Hart. That's all of 70 metres with the torpedo punt. Everett can't quite mark. Rashudo coming through with some strength, trying to assert himself physically against the Saints, but they're equal to it.
That's what you love about Mark Rashudo. Strong and hard at the ball, strong and hard at the body. Never takes a sidestep.
Jason Blake doing a good job there. Hamill with some strength likewise. To Moyle, back to Peckett. Peckett searching inside the forward 50. Milne just didn't read that. And coming across was Goodwin for another possession. He looks for his partner in crime and Rashudo. Peckett did enough, but the umpire said he did too much, and he infringed on Mark Rashudo, and he'll take the free kick.
25 the difference. Adelaide lead. We've played almost 19 minutes. Having another look at that. And we're back live. On the wing, Clark. Everett standing the mark with his outstretched hands. There's Clark. He's just slightly backward of the wing. Good kick for distance. Down toward left half forward. Burton, cleverly done. Here's Bode. Rewalt comes at him. It was a little bit ordinary, and Bode's going to take the free kick outside of 50. Tough angle.
Yeah, tough angle. Just unusual for the Crows to be going that wide. I know they're trying to straighten their game up, and to put a player in that position is probably not the ideal spot. But look for Bode to centre the ball to the top of the square. Already
kicked a goal, Chris. He's a long way out. Thought about something short. He's going to go long. No, he's going to kick poorly inside the 50. An opportunity for the Saints through Rewalt. Gets it over toward Cripps. In a bit of trouble. Got around Benke. That's okay. Oh, that's not too good. In fact, that's not bad. And that was Lenny Hayes, and Cripps working it away. That's okay to Hamill. Still outside the defensive 50. He was just a bit slow holding the ball. Adelaide back into attack.
Boys, we saw it last night too, didn't we, with the power today with the Crows, the tackling and the pressure from their forward players. Fantastic.
Wonderful pressure put on Hamill there. The tackle came from Benke.
Can you give it a roost?
He is a very good kicker of the football, but perhaps the distance too much there, and St Kilda really have the numbers, and they were 3-on-1, and Burton outmarking the taller Rewalt. And I guess, Chris, if you want to be 3-on-1 with a home-marking player, he was the one you want for Adelaide.
Absolutely, and just puts the foot in the back of the player, jumps over the top. Maybe Rewalt got a hand on it, but you've got to pay marks like that, and Brett Burton is the supreme aerialist.
We just saw Jason Blake just peel off the back there, probably back Rewalt in as the taller player in front, thought I can move off here and start to set something up. But he didn't count on Brett Burton, who goes for his second goal from 30 metres, no problems. He has 2, the Crows have 5, and they have control.
He breaks the tackle, runs to the 50, lines up the big sticks, it's a long bomb. Oh, put down your glasses, it's right through the middle. Oh, what a goal!
Golden draft, thanks.
Clipsal 500 presents 2 big after-race concerts. Saturday, country legends Lee Kernaghan and Becky Cole. Sunday, SAFM presents Human Nature. Book at Bass on 131246.
Footy.
Okay, let's go down to Francis on the boundary.
Yes, I'm here with Warren Treadway. Warren, the conditions are hot, but also the wind's playing a bit of havoc out there too.
Yeah, it is pretty gusty. Kicking, I suppose, the Crows' end is probably the way it is going. A couple of goals, but it's generally swirling around a bit too, as you've seen with a couple of kicks.
Thank you, Francis. Francis down there with Warren Treadway. Francis Leach with the Port Adelaide superstar, who will join us a little later on in the broadcast. 33-2. Matty Primus also with us, along with Matty Campbell and also Chris McDermott, former Crows captain. 5-3 Adelaide, 33. Bad news for Saints. They're just 2 points. And they're getting a hammering at the moment. They're about to go into attack, well into attack. Everett. Oh, Stewie Lowe, spectacular, gave away a free kick. That was a huge leap.
It was a huge leap, and St Kilda just haven't got their forward line functioning, and they're set up quite right. They've got Hamill at centre half forward, appear to be playing low in the goal square, and probably just got it around the wrong way.
Bickley playing on to Johnson. Johnson to the outer wing, searching for Goodwin. He has a player in support in Bode. He goes indoors, and look at the run there. There's some experience there. Hart and McLeod. He got it to Rashudo. Rashudo inside the forward 50. Burton backing back. Spills for Rewalt. He's got a bit of time and space here. He looks up and decides to switch the play to Jones. Jones can run here, try to draw the player to him. Does so now, and sets up the loose man. Maguire can go to the wing. Peckett. 9th disposal now coming up for Justin Peckett as St Kilda try and build something from their defensive half.
Just got nothing up forward, have they? I mean, Peckett's got nothing to kick to.
Adelaide have got back in numbers, and a little bit happening off the ball, but he goes short to Aussie Jones. Jones, what's the player in the middle, and that's big Peter Everett. Everett will like to get in his left and goes wide, and with about 30 metres, all on his own, is Andrew Thompson. Thompson back in board. Maguire has to be quick. Put him under a little bit of pressure, but he was clear. Got round on the left. It's a clever kick in the end. Burke outside his 50. 31 points they trail the Saints. They need a goal before quarter time. Nathan Burke picked up 3 last week. Got a couple in the second quarter. Goes to Stewie Lowe, and why not? Stewie Lowe, good strong lead, experience there, held it up.
It was a great strong lead. I mean, he led from pretty well the right forward pocket over to the left one. Rhett Bigland's in pursuit, and Bigland's a young kid and probably a little bit more athletic than Stewie, but just couldn't keep up. And a great catch and a very important kick now for St Kilda. They haven't troubled the scorer in a goal-kicking sense at this stage, and Stewie's got to kick this one. Matty, you backed him in last time.
I have backed him in.
You're prepared to put your hard end on him this time.
Yes, well, the siren has sounded, so it is quarter time. He's going to kick from about 25 to 30 metres. into a teeth of a bit of a breeze there, so a bit of a tricky kick. Not as easy as it may look.
Let's watch the drop.
I think, given the fact that he's already had a shot, this is his chance to atone here. Stewie Lowe to get the Saints within 25 points right on quarter time. And as you can see, he has collected a fair bit of wood there at Football Park. So unfortunately for him, just the behind. So Grant Thomas will enter the Football Park arena knowing that at quarter time, Adelaide are leading by 30 points. 5-3, St Kilda, 3 points.
The number one clearer of the footy from set plays, so it's a significant move for St Kilda to get some ball out the centre square.
33-3, Adelaide in front by 30 points, so they're doing the job at the moment. Early stages, second quarter. Bickley, as usual, going in at 100 mile an hour. Pretty busy, lots of Saints tackling, and a couple of players on the deck. 33-3, and just getting up and getting himself organised. Looks like Doughty. 33-3, so still 30 the difference. We played a minute of the second quarter. There's Rashudo, grabbed by Thompson. High kick, Stewie Lowe and Biglands. Well done, Biglands. Got his hand to it. Would have liked to have conceded, but it is over the line in the end. Left forward pocket. Good work by the big man.
Yeah, it was great work from Rep Biglands. Body on body against Stewie Lowe. You're not going to win that duel too many times, but the young kid held his ground well and took the ball out of bounds. Great work.
It's a big year for Biglands to where his football's going this season, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was the number one choice of Ruckman towards the end of last year, so a significant year, absolutely.
Battling with Matthew Clark for that spot as Smart switches to the outer side, out in front of Bode. And Heath Black now on the ground for St Kilda, his first touch in, I guess, the red, white and black, and he's not happy because he's been pinged for deliberate. Heath Black, as you can see, lost about 4 kilos with a virus last week. He pulled out of the game last week, so he's had the flu. And he was runner-up best and fairest at Fremantle last year, so good to see him playing again. Here's Kane Johnson. Good pick up for the Saints, Black. Johnson out in front of Shell, and Maguire just got lost there, Chris. I mean, that ball was in the air for quite a while, and Maguire got lost and perhaps shouldn't have.
Yeah, look, a young kid like that, you're going to get lost occasionally, but a good lead by Shell. Presented himself pretty well. He didn't do that last week, but he's a great choice of an option up forward for the Crows. I'm with Benke, with Burton, with Rutten. They've got some marking options there now. They've had to sort of recover the loss of a Jarman, a Robin and a Vardy from last year. A lot of expectation on this kid's shoulders. He's an opportunist, not a great mark overhead, but can do the spectacular. So a great lead, but now he needs to kick the goal.
And surprisingly, Scott Welsh, who got 4 goals against Brisbane last week, starting on the bench again. Staggering. Yes, he was very good last week. But Daniel Shell picked up 3 goals last week. So he kicks from just inside the 50. We've seen that's a tough pocket to kick goals from already today. He's given it a fairly good run. He's just to the left-hand side of the goalpost. So another behind.
Your point on Welsh is really interesting because they do have some options up forward. They look like they want to play Shell at full forward, Benke out of a pocket, Burton off a flank, and Rutten or Stevens at centre half forward. Welsh appears at this stage to be the odd man out.
Okay, so 5-4-34. That's Adelaide. The Saints are 3 behinds. This is Heath Black taking a bit of time. Short to Thompson, Andrew Thompson, captain last year when the 3 key players were out all injured. Early stages. Second quarter, hope you're enjoying our coverage. Second round Wizard Cup action. The Saints against Adelaide, and Clark takes an easy mark. As easy as you like, no pressure at all, Chris.
No, good catch by Matty Clark.
65 from goal, lays it up. They'll contest about 25 metres. Burton went through his hands. Chris could certainly see him coming. I think everyone saw him coming. Well done, Peckett. Now they're in a bit of trouble. Thompson kicks into the opposite back pocket. Not bad to Rewalt. Now I reckon Rewalt's gone on to Burton now. Doughty putting pressure on him to Peckett. A lot of possessions in a small area, that's for sure. Heath Black, Rewalt off his knees. So that was all pretty messy, pretty untidy, pretty ugly. 5-4-34 Adelaide. The Saints 3 behinds. We played 4 minutes second quarter.
Yeah, when you're a young emerging team, you just need to get some distance with your disposals and not hold on to the footy too much, not over-possess, and St Kilda are guilty of that at the moment.
Boundary throw in. Rutten there with Everett. Everett winning that. McLeod was probably reading that was going to happen, was in the right spot. They work it well. They get it to Doughty. Heads to the top of the square. Disciplined kick. Pack forming. They had Burton there. Why not? Here's Johnson trying to run through and crumb, and he's well wrapped up. Good tackle by Blake, stopping his progress towards goal. It'll be a ball up just outside the goal square. They lead by 31 points. They've been in control of this match from the start. Kane Johnson, named Sugar Johnson.
Not sugar cane.
No. Thanks, Chris.
I think it was sugar cane, actually.
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
Comments by Chris McDermott, former captain of the Adelaide Crows.
And Mark Haston, who never captained the club.
Yes, and here's the boundary, the ball up again. Everett, as McDermott still laughs in the background. McLeod, just clever, just awareness to go back to Rashudo.
He'll be a good test of the wind, boys. I mean, you'd normally back Rashudo from the top of the 50, but a difficult kick into that breeze. Let's see how strong it is.
7th kick coming up, Matty, for Mark Rashudo.
Well, we know he loves to kick goals, and he can kick a long, long way. As Chris mentioned, he will be kicking into the breeze. Rewalt's gone back off the mark, so you want to be careful how close he gets to that 50-metre line.
You reckon Brett Burton will be lining up here?
And he's coming from 10 rows in front of the pack. He's going to go backwards as Rashudo gets plenty of distance and just not quite. They're missing to the left that side, aren't they, Chris?
Yeah, the breeze seems to be going slightly across the ground, and but great carry then from Rashudo. Kicked the ball 55 metres into the breeze, then a beautiful kick. Watch now for the Crows to zone. Last year, their kicking off, their work against the kickoffs was much maligned. This year, back to the zone.
35 plays 3, just over 6 minutes in this second quarter.
32 the difference. Here's Peckett to himself, and then outside 50 looking for Rewald. He's got problems though, because he's got 3 around him. One of them was Ben Hart, who's one of the best in the business, one of the best defenders, an All-Australian. Good work in the end though by Hamill, who just got his hand to it. It ricocheted over the line. So 6.5 minutes, second quarter. Crows big winners last week. Well, weren't so much big winners, but they would have been happy to win in Brisbane by a couple of points. And the Saints over Melbourne. Tyson Edwards, good kick, beautiful kick, wonderful lead, and Shell's marked on his chest. He's 45 metres from goal, slight angle.
Yeah, certainly a great lead by Shell, but is there a better kick on left or right than Tyson Edwards in the competition? Goes either way, and that stage just to the top of the 50, beautiful on the left foot, out in front of Shell, taking the mark comfortably.
Well, Tyson Edwards, beautiful delivery, hasn't missed a game, Chris, in 2 seasons.
No,
Tyson.
he's very resilient.
And this man, Daniel Shell, is pretty well smack bang in front from about 45. That is a beautiful kick. It's gun barrel straight, and he gets his first, and the Crows get their 6th.
Never in the end to force it back off the ground towards the goal square, but rushed through by Nigel Smart and Rob Popplestone down on the boundary.
Matty, 8.5 minutes into this second quarter, the Adelaide Crows still not using their interchange. Very rare in today's AFL footy, I'd say.
Thank you, Rob. Rob Popplestone riding the boundary for us with Francis Leach. And this is Simon Goodwin from the northern end of Football Park. Let's go with a long ground covering kick. That's about 60 metres, and Everett takes the mark. He judged it beautifully. 3 deep. 6-5 to 4 behinds. 6-5 to 4 behind. So Adelaide thrashing them, and that kick, well, he was looking for Burke, but Hart has taken the mark, and Adelaide will work this out of defence again.
And going up, they've got plenty of options. Hart's a good one now. He's in the defensive 50, draws the player, gets out to Bassett. Bassett on his natural left foot. Gehrig there chasing and just forcing Rutten out the way. A bit of experience there from Fraser. Gehrig did well. Had a good season last year when he went back for St Kilda. Here's Everett. Runs to 70 metres out, short pass. Everett looking for Hamill. Hamill with courage. The spoil came from Biglands. Hart read it well. The Crows now clear, and they've got space. Goodwin getting possessions at will for the Crows. On the lead is Benke. Benke inside of Blake. Goes back to Bickley. They set it up with the old-fashioned 1-2-3. There's Bickley. Good tackle by Jones. Forced the error. Saints get back in numbers. Gehrig now to clear. Poor kick. McLeod wrapped up but trying to force it forward. Blake, quick hands to Jones. Likewise to Black. Now the Saints away towards Milne on the centre wing. He's got Xavier Clark, who's come on off the bench in the middle. Exciting player from the Northern Territory. Up towards Burke. Burke arriving late with the punch was Bassett. Probably a little bit fortunate, Burke, but he'll take it. Crowd not happy, but Nathan Burke. And you want to move it quickly because Adelaide are streaming back to get some numbers. Does he have enough on that? He does. And finds Jason Blake once again, who's already had a shot for goal at the other end in the first quarter. Blake. And, you know, it's the old-fashioned cliche. It's a badly needed goal, Chris.
I knew you were going to drop it, but you're right.
It really is. Just from the get some momentum happening. Everett starting to win the knock in the centre, but they must convert these set shots at goal.
Okay, take your point.
Blake, who has only kicked 6 goals in his 25 senior games. Drop punt looks good. It's very good. And a much-needed goal for the Saints by Jason Blake, their first for the afternoon.
Imagine music without Madonna, U2, Michael Jackson and Britney Spears. Boring, huh? Friday, thank them for the music when 10 presents this year's Grammys. See Craig David,
Alicia Keys,
Janet Jackson,
Train,
Nelly Furtado,
Linkin Park,
Outkast.
and the girls do Moulin Rouge.
Want more? There's live performances from U2, NSYNC, Destiny's Child and more. The Grammy Awards premieres Friday 8:30 on 10.
Heard that from them today.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. The conditions aren't the perfect, but after all, it is only February too, so they'll get better, and they're looking good this quarter.
Thank you, Francis. Francis Leach with Warren Treadray on the boundary with Rob Popplestone as well. Here's Peckett chasing the footy. Not a lot of concern. There wasn't a lot of pressure around him, but he wouldn't have wanted to have looked up. Would have seen a pretty horrible scoreboard that reads 6-5 to 1 goal 4. Ball in the middle, still being knocked around. Chance for Hamill, caught by Rashudo. The umpire says it was a throw. Mark Rashudo to take the free kick defensive side of centre.
Bit rugged, that one.
Very unlucky, Aaron Hamill, I thought there. It was a good tackle, but was paid for a throw.
Had to mark it, crumb it, get hold of it again, as we see, and then paid for a chuck. Oh, you've got to be kidding.
I don't know if that was a throw. I think the ball was spilled as he was tackled as he was going to ground, but that is irrelevant now because the ball is over the boundary line. Ozzie Jones and McLeod just now to set up at about 70 metres round from the goal. That is the Adelaide Crows goal. 6-5 playing 1-4. Chad Davis looking on the bench there. And as Rob Popplestone mentioned, Adelaide using it sparingly this afternoon in 30-degree heat here at Football Park. Stenglein, haven't seen a lot of him. Touch, gets to Johnson. Loose player forward, Edwards. A little bit of hesitation, but he gets around on the right boot for the snap. And he gets it. Saints want a point for touch, but it's a goal to Edwards. Well, I thought he may have gone direct towards goal there, Tyson Edwards, but he doesn't mind snapping him around the body, does he, Chris? It's his first for the afternoon.
No, he doesn't. He does enjoy a bit of Hollywooding, and at that stage we see Johnson handball forward. Tyson Edwards had the opportunity to handball over the top to Shell in the goal square, but just a bit of ducking, bit of weaving, and over his shoulder, whether a set shot or a snap shot, Tyson Edwards is very good around goals.
Fellas, you up? Yeah.
Back out to 37 points. This lead to Adelaide, 14 minutes. Second quarter, Wizard Home Loan Cup. Second round action, Adelaide over Brisbane last week. The Saints thrashing Melbourne, but at the moment they're getting a football lesson. Kick toward Bode territory. Andrew McLeod, brilliant hand skills. Well done. Doughty inside 50. Good football all round by Adelaide. It's all falling into place for them. And Shell will get up and kick from 30 metres pretty well, smack bang in front, 47 to 10.
And once again, we're seeing the value of a dominant midfield. I mean, the Crows midfield, and they've got a number of riches there with McLeod, with Goodwin, with Johnson, with Rashudo. You know, they can throw a Bickley in there if they need to. They've got some great numbers to rotate through the midfield. Always dominant, either by hand or by foot. And Shell again, for the third time this quarter, presenting himself as a forward line target. He just needs to kick truly.
Yes, I'd like to see him kick this, that's for sure. And I'm sure he'd be a pleased young man as well. It is through the middle. So Shell gets another for Adelaide.
Gee, boys, there are some similarities to last night's game, aren't there? A dominant midfield, some forward line targets, and an opposition that can't find a way forward, can't find a winner, and have got to scrape and fight for every possession. There, Shell, into the teeth of a breeze. It wasn't the most attractive kick you've ever seen in your life, but got the desired result.
Yes, Daniel Shell with his second goal. And things are looking very dangerous for St Kilda. 43 points down. They won last week by 68 points. All that good work is going down the drain because they can still, regardless win, lose or draw, they need to give themselves still an opportunity to make it through to the semi-finals.
Credibility and respect they need.
Here's Peckett, who has had plenty of the ball this afternoon, as has McLeod with a clever kick before he gained possession. Play on was the call. Clark tapping it back. Peckett traps it, then goes for a torpedo in towards Low. Good punch from the Crows. Here's Wolf at ground level. Bumped up the ball well by Goodwin. But Hayes dancing. Gets it to Hamill. Good hands from Hamill. Out to Wolf for a second chance. Around the body goes Daniel Wolf. He stretches it round. It looks like a good kick. It's a goal.
What would you like to pay for the latest mobile phone? At Stratfield, you can come up with a big fat nothing and love it on any top brand mobile that suits you. With a choice of the 3 biggest digital networks, it's all your choice at Stratfield. Any brand, any network, and an airtime package to suit your lifestyle. How about the Panasonic G?
The lead, 37 points, the lead to Adelaide. And we've played around about 16 minutes of the second quarter. There's Everett getting his hand to it. Baker. Not under a lot of pressure, able to turn around and then send it down toward Wolf territory, who kicked the last goal for St Kilda. There's only been 2 of them. Inside the 50, well done Bickley, good anticipation. Out to the half-back flank, Doughty, very clever. He's only young and relatively inexperienced, but that was good stuff. Smart down ground, good mark taken by Garrick, a defensive mark that needed to be taken because Adelaide was coming. Baker over toward Hamill. And Hamill goes wide. And now Peckett down toward right half forward. This is Milne. Inside 50. Looking for Burke. Gets into position. Knocked away. Well done by Bickley. Good stuff. Burke goes in again hard. 100 mile an hour. That's how he works. Smart. Defensive. Good hand pass to Hart. Smart and Hart working it out. They've done that a few times over the last 10, 12 years. And now Goodwin to work it away from half back.
Goodwin, who switches it into Clark. Running players now for the Crows. McLeod, Bickley and Rashudo all getting plenty of the ball at the moment. Bode, here's McLeod in the middle with some space. And beautiful delivery from McLeod. You cannot afford to give Andrew McLeod that much space.
No, you can't. And once again, nothing at ground level in St Kilda's forward lines. We saw the ball go there, a contest in the air, and there were 3 or 4 Crows at ground level just picking up the ball, swooping on it.
Their first interchange for the afternoon for the Adelaide Crows. You see Mark Rashudo putting on the ice vest. Ben Nelson has come on the ground. There's the delivery from McLeod to the lead of Benke, who is a good kick of the football. He certainly is a thumping kick of the footy. He'll have no trouble with the distance here as Kane Johnson comes off and is replaced by Matty Shearer. So the bench being used. Benke, who kicked 2 goals in the first round last week, just pushing it off to the right. The ball will stay in play. St Kilda in front. That was Maguire. Here's Moyle at ground level. Chris mentioned that's where they've got to improve their game as Brett Burton just drags Moyle off over the boundary line with the ball and to be a boundary throw-in.
Conditions obviously taking their toll. The Crows using their interchange bench far more than they did last week, giving their midfielders a rest on the bench.
Okay, so Andrew Crow, about to come on for Adelaide. Not sure who's about to go off, but we'll find out soon enough as the Saints through Aussie Jones out wide to Milne. He's playing a bit more in the midfield. He's getting a bit fitter. He scrambles it. He didn't have anyone to kick to. It's bouncing around. Burke first to arrive with Bickley over the line. And the umpire says toss it in. 8-5 to 2-4. It's 53-16.
Just on the interchange bench with Adelaide, Chris, it almost appears now that change. It's almost if it was premeditated. Now we're going to rotate some players.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? And they can afford to. I mean, with a 6 or 7 goal buffer, they can certainly afford to take some risks now.
Yes, that lead is 37 points as Stephen Lawrence comes on for Xavier Clark for the Saints. And here is Justin Peckett, who has had 14 possessions. He's about to get number 15 because he's got a free kick. Peckett going inside 50 now, the Saints. Hamill, chance for Milne. He's got it. He's a clever player. He's a goal kicker. He's 30 metres out from the Saints goal. And Stephen Milne, a chance to get his first for the afternoon. They kicked 2 goals in this quarter as we see the kick from Hamill getting to Stephen Milne, who just peeled off the back.
And one of the first times we've seen Hamill get the ball inside 50 or around the 50-metre mark. Benny Hart's done a great job on him.
So Milne, who didn't kick a goal in the first round, but he's kicked his first for the afternoon. So the Saints get their third, and they're desperately trying to stay in touch.
Oh. And both coaches, no doubt, will have a chat to their charges as Doughty goes inside 50. They'd be 2 different chats, you'd think. And the mark is taken by a man who has kicked a lot of goals. He kicked 5 goals. I'm talking about Binky. He kicked 5 goals 3 weeks ago in an inter-club match. Kicked some goals last week, and he'd love to kick some goals here this afternoon.
And again, Mark, a very tough kick from this pocket. We've got to go a long way back to Tony Hall kicking the goal in a State of Origin match to see the last bloke who kicked the goal from deep in this pocket. But Brian Benke is a very good kick. He gives it a thump.
You've gone a long way back there.
86, I think I went back to.
Good Lord.
I wasn't born then. So here's Binky from about 30 metres. Gee, that was tough. Have a look. Let's wait. And he's kicked it! Sensational goal by Brian Binky.
I didn't say he wouldn't kick it. And there's no need to go back to 86 ever again, because next week we can say we have to go all the way back to Brian Benke's goal in round 2 of the Wizard Home Loans Cup.
I'll tell you what, it did swing away. We're just having another look at that delivery by Doughty. It was perfect to Benke. It did swing away, Chris, didn't it? But very late. Have a look at this.
It certainly did, and it's a difficult kick from that pocket, especially with the breeze coming that way, but a great kick by Benke. He's been in very, very good form in the pre-season this year, and again, putting his hand up to play a key role for Adelaide in the forward lines this year.
Benke has his first. The Crows have 9. He's had 8 possessions for 1 goal, which is probably above his normal ratio. He's basically a low possession, good return on goal player. But Crows by 37 points. Stewie Lowe on the ruck for the Saints. Edwards reads it the best towards the 50. He almost fell in the hands of the Adelaide player there. Here's Ben Nelson wrapped up in a half Nelson by Stephen Lawrence, who loves the aggression and loves the physical side of the game.
And the interesting thing there was a loose footy on the ground. There were 3 St Kilda players around, and it was the Adelaide player that got his hands on the ball first. St Kilda really need some players at ground level. Robert Harvey not playing today, but they need some other options at ground level.
Gehrig wins the punch for St Kilda. Going back is Doughty. He's get a few possessions as well. Here's Nelson now. Low spearing kick in towards Shell. It was a good kick, a little bit too much on it, and Maguire knew it was going over the boundary line for a throw-in as Welsh comes on for his first run for the afternoon. Doughty having a spell. A midfielder that now seems to be saying, well, you've done your bit, you can have a spell. Welsh, 4 goals last week, was excellent against Brisbane at the Gabba. Over the top came Hudson, who's now back in defence, or is he just run down to try and get involved? And here's Davis, who's on the ground. Chad Davis. Not much option up forward. Again, they're forced to chip it short. Again, that link man is Justin Peckett. 37 points. We've played just over 24 minutes in this second quarter. And Peckett again, the St Kilda, a little bit stop-start at the moment. Goes towards the wing. Needs some tall timber there. Hamill was clever. Got it down to Del Santo, who's a new player on the ground. He goes forward, and Stenglein reads it the better of the 2 over Milne.
Yeah, good mark by Stenglein, and then swings it out to a 1-on-2 situation. That's against Adelaide, but it doesn't matter when it's this man, and that's Andrew McLeod. Hand pass to Welsh, who kicked 22 goals last year. Storming through the wing, and then an awkward one inside 50. Burton almost re-walt with him. Well, that looked maybe a little high. I think there's a few here that might agree, but it doesn't matter. Play continues. Now the Saints through Lawrence, down toward left half forward. Chance for Milne, went straight through him. Stenglein, defensive hand pass. He's got to get a free kick for that. Stewie Lowe, the offender. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt, but that was good. Stewie Lowe went over and said sorry about that. So there is room for that in Australian rules. Let's have another look at this, Chris. In fact, we did.
There is room, but not much.
It's just a bit late there. 59-22. Hart. He was off.
Great player, this kid, Tyson Stenglein. Had a fantastic year. Was the Crows' best team man last year. Building a real reputation on a half-back flank or as a tagger.
He's at half-back, just on the defensive 50. To Bode, who's been relatively lively. Had 5 kicks. This will be his 6th. Here he goes now from half-back. Beautiful delivery. Gee, the skills have been pretty good by the Crows. This is Rutten. Got a man running past. It's Welsh from the middle. Well inside 50, downfield. Looking for Shell. He's got him. He's got a couple to contend with. Close to the boundary. Opportunity now for Scher, who's come on. Blake's going to work it away with his teammate. There's the siren. It's half-time here at Footy Park in this Wizard Home Loan second round cup match between Adelaide and the Saints. Adelaide 9-5-59. The Saints 3-4-22.
Well, they led by 30 points at quarter time. They now lead by 37. And the goal kickers for Adelaide. Shell has 2. Burton has 2 singles to Edwards, Bode, Doughty, Benke and Goodwin. And for the Saints, they picked up 3 goals in that second quarter. Blake, Daniel Wolfe got 1 and Stephen Milne got 1. They're trying to hang in there, the Saints, but Adelaide in control by 37. Adelaide in control. They look to set themselves up to get through to the semi-finals with their second win in a row, but still a half of football to go. And the Saints looking to push it forward first in this second half. Hamill coming out. Stenglein almost a clean possession. Milne cleverly puts it out in front of Hayes. Hayes, good pick up on the run. Tackled well, but the ball spills free. It should suit the Crows. Bickley back to Smart. Smart off to Biglands. Biglands at full back, and away they swing it hard. Now, Ben Hart had read what was going on there and just took off to the outer side. just such a clever player is Ben Hart, and kicks it up towards Perry. Gehrig right with him. Jones with Edwards. Edwards has got to beat 2. He does so, forces it forward, but St Kilda have some numbers back. Andrew Thompson getting up and under it, up to the contest. Milne used the body on Hart. It falls for Hayes again. Second possession of the quarter. This time he goes back to Lawrence. Lawrence spots a player at the corner of his eye, and well, Jason Cripps, he showed courage to go back, and the free kick has been cleaned up. You're not happy with the free kick, Chris?
You don't get free kicks for courage. I mean, a great effort by the kid, committed his body beautifully, but there's no rule for no free kick for courage.
Francis Leach on the boundary.
The report for charging, and you got 50 metres.
Oh, yeah. Well, you heard that, Chris, and Francis obviously was listening into the report. Reported for charging.
You've got to be kidding. I mean, this is part of our game that is fair and square. You cannot take the hard physical clashes out of our game.
But he lifted both feet off the ground.
Oh, come off it, though. That is just legitimate. Hey, look, great courage from the St Kilda player to put your body on the line, but you put your body on the line, you pay the price.
Mark Aston, we saw Paul Kelly, and we saw David Neitz reported for charging similar offences.
Doesn't make it right.
Well, Chris McDermott not happy, but
look, Justin Cripps, I mean, if there's any player probably you could pull out, you could say it's him because he's had a terrible run with injuries, but dearie me.
Well, he shows great courage, and he shows a goal for St Kilda, so they get the first goal of the second half. Controversial, according to my co-commentator Chris McDermott, but importantly, they're back within 31 points.
Yes, look, Mark Bickley, he certainly wouldn't be happy with that. I mean, he's the most fair player you'll ever see going around. And okay, maybe he took his feet off the ground, but is there a rule to say you can't do that? Cripps running back with the flight of the play, eyes only for the footy. I would call that a pretty fair body contest.
Well, in the context of what a charge is construed as, which is always up for debate, I'd say that he's been reported for charging in similar offences that we've seen already this season.
Yes, well, Matthew, you would know.
Here's Francis Leach on the boundary.
Yeah, Max Hutchison back in familiar territory. He's in the goal square at full back after spending the first half up forward.
Okay, 9-5-59. We'll get to Francis in just a moment. The Saints are 4-4-28. And they're about to go into attack again. Long kick by the Saints. They're making a bit of a charge here, but Bickley, who is keen to redeem himself, although Chris McDermott says he didn't do anything wrong. The Adelaide side now out of trouble. This is Johnson, received from Smart, downfield. Chance for them to knock it on. That was well done by Burton. Got it across to his teammate, and that's his captain, Rashudo. Back to Burton over the line, right in front of us, western side. It's 9-5-59. The Saints are 4-4-28.
St Kilda finally getting some footy away from the centre square too, boys. 2 balls in a row.
Here is Clark to do battle, body on body with Everett. Everett with the height advantage, but read well by Goodwin. McLeod with pace. Blows Thompson away, runs to the 50-metre line, and let's go with a magnificent goal.
CommSec understands people on the move can't always stay up to date with their share prices. That's why we've introduced SMS Alert.
4-4-28, Andrew McLeod at his absolute best. Sensational stuff by a sensational player. 10-5 to 4-4. So we're all ready to go again. We've played 4.5 minutes of the third quarter. Adelaide really blowing the Saints away. They did, there's an umpire saying he's sorry. I can't believe I heard that. Now he's about to bounce the ball, and he does. It's a beautiful bounce too, right in the middle of Football Park, just where it should be to start proceedings. Here's Thompson trying to work it away through what was a very busy area. A couple of bodies colliding. In they go. Burke, one of them. Bickley standing over about 3. He's been reported, if you've just joined us. There's Burke getting up without the helmet. Big crash of bodies there. That was Burke and Doughty.
He's courageous, Burke, isn't he? Eyes only for the footy.
Good stuff by Doughty too, Chris. 10-5-4-4. We've played 5 minutes. And there's Clark getting it down. Rashudo and Goodwin trying to work it away. And Burke there again. Pretty untidy. And the umpire to toss it up about 60 metres from the Saints goal. 10-5 to 4-4.
Go back that way, throwing up again.
So as the umpires, we can hear instructions that he's going to back out of the contest. And it comes to ground. Rashudo, direct, perhaps maybe through that. Good quick hands from Black. Over to Stephen Lawrence there, out in front of Nathan Burke. Does well, and just lets himself down with the kick as he popped it out in the full. So, kick in to be taken. Hart wants to take it quickly, or Smart does, gets it away now. to Bassett. Bassett to Rashudo. And trying to set up the loose man. The Crows, they go to the outer side wing. Good kick. Clever kick. Put it to the advantage of Tyson Stenglein. As Chris mentioned earlier, best team man at the Crows, and that is an award that is much heralded. Good mark by Gehrig, and plays on quickly again to Lawrence. So Kilda move forward. Lawrence with a long forward handball to Hamill. He's got a couple of options, and he uses the second one, which was Blake, and then comes around the back for another possession. Out wide. A little bit indirect there was Hamill, but Thompson was equal to it. Got around Goodwin and then squares it back up to Blake. So in a roundabout way, they've got to where they had it before. So Jason Blake, as Adelaide get lots of numbers towards the defensive 50, he switches play. Lawrence would like to play on. He does so now to Baker. Baker looks up, sees a wall of Crows in front of him. And Everett chips in because the kicker dropped short. He gets around. Hamill comes in to lend support, but getting through also with Stenglein. Everett off the ground does well. Hamill, can he get boot to ball? No, he can get hands to it. And he got to Lenny Hayes, and Hayes has the snap, but just hooks it to the left. He had Burke in the goal square, who was on his own. He's letting him know, but it's a minor score for the Saints.
Yes, and it's a sad indictment when your big man, a man of 6'10", Peter Everett's got to be the man getting the ball off the deck.
10-5 to 4-5. We play 7.5 minutes. That's out of bounds in the left forward pocket for the Saints. They'll drive it back in.
Stay there now, Nige.
Stay there now, Nige. Is the instruction from the umpire. It's Nigel Smart on the mark. Really creep forward a bit as Milne goes inside 50, looking for and not finding Lowe. Chance now for Everett. Gets it to Jones. That's not too bad at all. Black inside the 50. Awkward one. It's rolling through for a behind to the right-hand side. Awkward kick. And nothing doing as far as a major is concerned. Adelaide 10-5, the Saints 4-6. They're 30. We've played almost 8 minutes, third quarter.
Well, maybe Big Spider should set himself up as a small forward. That's the second crumb in a row he's got.
Well, he is magnificent at ground level for a man of his height, isn't he? There's a mistake. Chance for the Saints now. Comes to Baker off the error. Oh, good punch. Lowe, he thought he was in there, Big Stewie. Here's Lenny Hayes. Tunnel balls it out to Thompson. The crowd want to throw. Burke wants a goal. So does the Saints. Here's a chance now for Milne. Can't get free. Another possession deep inside their forward 50. They need to finish it off. Cripps runs into trouble. Adelaide have now got some numbers back, and they want to force a ball up, and they have. And unfortunately for some Kilda fans around the country, they couldn't get a shot on goal.
Good footy, though. Good footy. Great desperate footy.
Yeah, Cripps, that was unusual. He should have ran into the pack, didn't he, really? Knew there was some dangerous individuals around the area and then actually ran into it. Anyway, 10-5, 4-6. That was pretty lively as far as the Saints were concerned. We're back live again. Now they've still got a chance. Here's Aussie Jones loading up and kicks a wonderful goal. Excellent goal by Aussie Jones. And do you reckon they didn't need that, the Saints?
I'm going to show you how great I am. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. George can't hit what his hands can't see. Now you see me, now you don't. He think he will, but I know he won't. I'll prove to the world that I'm still the fastest, the prettiest, the most classist, the most scientific, the greatest of all time. I am the greatest.
Aussie Jones is first. The Saints have 5. And again, they sneak it under that 30-point margin. It's back to 29. Edwards forcing it out of the centre. Burton there for the Crows. The punch came from the Saints. Rashudo in the spot. Gets it off to Johnson. Johnson hooks it around. Doesn't get good purchase on the ball. And it spews off the side and goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Kane Johnson.
Get the feeling that if Kilda can get the next goal, maybe 2, that they're right back in this game, coming home with a slight breeze. Adelaide with a tough week last week up in Brisbane. They may run out of gas. Maybe there's still an opportunity for Kilda to win this game.
Well, their endeavour in this third quarter has been good. They've had the ball inside their forward 50 quite a bit. And now they need to defend as Everett, who is winning the knocks, got it down towards Jones. McLeod, what can he do here? Tries to just force it back. Just comes off the boot of a Saints defender there, and it ends up with Max Hutchton. So a little bit fortunate, but they're away now through Rewalt to the outer side. And that's Peckett. 17 possessions in the first half to Justin Peckett. Players streaming down the ground. Rewalt wants it on the wing, but Peckett goes back in board because he's got 2 players. One of them is Max Hutchton. Now more direct towards centre-half forward. Hamill is target, but it falls short, and Tyson Stenglein chips in with the mark.
Yes, takes a safe mark on his chest and then goes out wide, so they're back in again here. Long kick. Rutten, 10-5 to 5-6, down towards right half forward, now inside. They're attacking 50. That's Baker, number 29, and then he goes in and does some nice tying up. Stephen Baker, very good tagger. He did some good work then as he tied that Crows player up. 10-5, 65 Adelaide. The Saints 5-6, 36, 11 minutes. Third quarter. Busy area. Edwards. Still with Edwards. Look like Aussie Jones it is. He's there as well. And Ian Perry is number 22 for Adelaide. And nothing doing. Bit untidy. 10-5, 5-6.
I saw Stewie Lowe just having a rest, Chris.
Yeah, I think the game's crying out for him to present himself at centre-half forward. And when St Kilda now getting a lot of the footy, they need a Stewie Lowe, a Peter Everett, definitely a tall at centre-half forward.
Dowdy to Bickley. Bickley round the body. Not a bad shot on goal, but unfortunately not hooking round enough. Just the minor score. So Adelaide have the margin back to 30 points, which was their lead in the first quarter. And Stewie just getting a bit of a stretch there. And a little bit of a grimace, but I'm sure deep down he's really enjoying that stretch. Blake going to be caught. Too high from Burton. Got clear. Backed himself a little bit too long there. Took on one, took on the second, and Benke gets it.
But exactly, nothing at centre-half forward. He had Nathan Burt to kick to. For God's sake, put somebody there.
Well, Chris McDermott not happy with the structure of St Kilda. Bickley. Good one, running hard. From 55, unloads, he can get the distance. Has he got the accuracy? Almost. It's the behind once again. And Goodwin, who kicked the first goal of the afternoon, as we see that. Just Blake getting through the tackle. Advantage was called. And as you said, nothing to kick to, so second-guessed himself and he was gone.
Great work, Brian Benke.
Saints out of trouble. Really good stretch there. It was taken by Lenny Hayes. Backward of centre half back, pumps the hand pass, out wide, Thompson from half back, good penetration, Rashudo arrives late, oh, well done Moyle, then shrugs the tackle, got it over toward his teammate who's caught Matt Blake, and he's in all sorts of trouble. And Cripps is there as well, Moyle over the pack, inside 50, Burke, chance for him, wretched bounce though, outstorms Mill, well done by Smart, the Saints in again. Still, they fight. They're about 60 metres from goal. That was Maguire. Well done, Bassett. No panic from Bassett. He's very experienced, and talk about experience here. Andrew McLeod. Dowdy was in the middle of those two. He was the man involved with the hand pass, and that kick to Burton. Absolutely pinpoint, Chris.
Beautiful foot skills, Andrew McLeod on the run.
This is Burton. And we know that he loves playing footy. He loves kicking goals and taking big marks. 67-36. Adelaide well in front. But the Saints have been mounting some charge, but Adelaide with a chance here to get another goal. They have 10.
And Matty Clark comes off for a well-earned rest, and Benny Marsh on for his first run for the day.
So Brett Burton had some injuries in 2001. Loves taking huge marks. Kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, and that's off to the right. It's a behind. 10-8, 68 Adelaide. The Saints 5-6, 36. We played 40 minutes third quarter.
So an interesting time in this third quarter now. The game is pretty even as far as the scoring's going, Chris, and it's a question of whether Adelaide can pick it up or can the Saints just edge that a little bit closer before three-quarter time to give themselves an option. Aussie second-guessing himself there, wasn't he? But Black has it. And, well done, Aussie Jones. He ran on. He realised that he'd created an error and then ran hard to help out. Good work. Did it well. Adelaide have again got numbers back. They're zoning off here. They're just corralling the Saints players, saying we'll give you a little bit of space. But a couple of them got free. One was Jason Cripps. Rewalt's done some running for him. They switched the play. Rewalt now goes short. Peckett had Peckett or Gehrig. Peckett made a meal of it, but then his second effort was good to get it to Hudgton. Rewalt now running. Little chip kick in towards Burke. Goodwin was he equal to that. Not sure about that effort from Bassett.
It was a bit casual, wasn't it?
But again, boys, Nathan Burke, your go-to man at centre-half forward. Well, I mean, it's got to be obvious, doesn't it?
We've got Peter Everett, basically on the back play at the minute.
Backing out this way, boys.
And well, we've got Aaron Hamill, Stewie Lowe off. There's Everett. Aaron Hamill standing inside the forward 50 with plenty of space if they can get it there quickly for a one-on-one contest. Burke trying to now. Gets it up high. There's Hamill. Just backing back into it, Hart right with him. Milne came out, led Smart to the ball. Smart
with his experience, just relieving the pressure. And at least that's better though. Just get it into the danger zone. Get it into the forward 50 as close as you can to goals and give your opportunists like a Milne or a Hamill the opportunity one-on-one.
Crows lead by 32 points, warm conditions. The vests help, no doubt about that. There's the throw in. Here's Milne, left foot and goals. So that was a good goal by Milne. The Saints needed that again.
That makes Viking the chocolate bar with horns.
St Kilda mounting a challenge here at Football Park, and they've got to within 26 points, so that's the closest they've been since the first quarter. Milne has 2. The Saints have 6. Need to get the next one, and that is a brilliant tap from Everett over the back to Thompson. Burt going back, but just getting there. Bickley read it well. Off to Smart. The veterans for Adelaide out to now a young player in Doughty. Doughty up forward. And numbers back there for Saints. Aussie Jones getting back to help out. Left foot kick towards the wing. And St Kilda have 2 on 3 here. Well done. They got it to Thompson. It came from Moyle. Back to Heath Black. Starting to get involved with the Saints now, Heath. Started on the bench. 68 to 42. Next goal for St Kilda will be very handy. They'd find themselves within 3 goals. And going home with the breeze, Chris.
And just starting to get some footy off the deck and in the midfield.
Garrick, Blake, those two combining in defence. Shocking hand pass. Goodwin over the top to Perry. Back it goes. Burton, got to get rid of it. Peckett coming at him. Burton long and strong. There's no one back there, and it will drift over the line, right forward pocket. Bit of a waste there, Chris. 10-8 to 6-6.
Oh, Mark, your turnovers kill you. I mean, if you can reduce the amount of errors you make in a game of footy, you'll win more games than you lose. And that stage, St Kilda just trying to manufacture a play instead of getting the ball on quickly and getting it inside 50.
Yeah, but Burton let him off the hook, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, they could have made them pay. Boundary throw in. Milne coming off for a spell for St Kilda. Here's McLeod. So dangerous. Anytime he gets hold of the ball, and it's out of bounds. So Thompson just did enough to force McLeod over for the boundary throw-in. Mark Bickley, leading possession winner on the ground with 20 possessions.
Yeah,
he's new lease of life.
Well, he has, because he's been freed up, hasn't he? They all pick up the McLeods and the Rashudos. Bickley gets a free run on the footy and knocks up getting the ball these days.
You heard the call from the umpire there, don't hold. And it's very hard to hold McLeod. Doughty.
Knock it on, knock it on, knock it on!
And there's the instructions once again. You're hearing the umpires through this Wizard Home Loans Cup. Their instructions to the players. And Moyle now breaking free for the Saints. Hamill on the lead. Couldn't quite get there. Hart's been right with him all afternoon. Everett at ground level. Untidy handball, missed Moyle. He'd be disappointed, Big Peter. And unfortunately, it really has worked against them because they've got the ball coming off the foot. As we'll see the replay here. There's the first error. And nothing worse, Chris, than following up with an unlucky
second
error.
one.
But a second one gives the ball back. Here's Jones, breaking. Like to see him run. And he spots a couple of players. Dangerous. Lawrence has great courage, though, and he's away. No one up forward. They've got to work it. Everett now one-on-one. Everett's kick is poor. It drops short. Chad Davis was the player he was looking for. Bickley right with him. Davis did well to keep it in front of him. Now the task is to keep it in play. Back. Looking for a player and support. Hamill, he does well. There's Marsh for the Crows. Taps it back to Biglands and the Crows should clear.
Yes, and they will. Biglands goes to the far side. That's on the eastern side. Crow quickly over to Bickley. That one worth a kick, that hand pass. Went about 30 metres to Kane Johnson. 68-42. The Saints are coming, but Adelaide going into attack down ground. Half volleyed, beautifully done by Burton. That was sensational stuff. He made it look easy. And then Kane Johnson bangs it inside 50, bounces off the chest of that forward, and that was Shell. And eventually the Saints clear it, getting very close to the boundary line. It's out of bounds. Let's head down to the boundary line. Here's Francis Leach.
Yeah, Jason Blake's come off for the Saints. He's had a couple of bad moments. You saw him get tackled twice and caught with the ball and a bad handball. I think they've just set him down to have a rest because he dropped his head for a moment there, and he'll have a deep breath and maybe get back out there later.
Thanks, Francis. Francis Leach on the boundary with Rob Popplestone this afternoon. Here's Doughty, and just waiting off the ball there was Goodwin. Almost as if he knew it was going towards the forward line. Good punch there from Hutchin. He's been good since he's gone back there. Edwards crumbing. Chris thinks it's a goal. They've hit the post a few times, haven't they?
They have. Check the distance between those goals. But again, the Crows at ground level, Tyson Edwards, fantastic. Normally makes a meal of those, or makes the most of those at that stage, making a meal of it.
Like yourself.
27 points is the margin. Adelaide in front. Fraser Garrick, good kick to Peckett. He's getting a heck of a lot of the ball. That was his 13th kick. He looked away, actually. Did he kick it or hand pass it, Chris?
He kicked it.
Good. Okay, that was his 13th. Now he's got it again. Here's 14 kicks for Peckett. Long one, inside 50. His dangerous danger signs. Maguire, hand pass just a little loose, allows Adelaide in again. Burke, was he pushed in the back? Umpire didn't seem to think so. Hand pass by Black, put his teammate under pressure. Doughty was in. So too is Smart. Now the whistle goes, and it is
Smart free kick.
Looks like an Adelaide free kick, and Smart will relieve the pressure, and there was plenty of it.
Opportunities are almost opening up though for the Saints.
Yeah, the door's ajar, and their skills just letting them down on the well, an inopportune moment.
Young Matt Maguire's gone forward as we see the infringement from Heath Black just catching.
It's clumsy.
Smart around the neck. The Crows will switch it, but Everett's got some height. Goodwin forcing it forward. Discipline play, great work by Thompson. He smothered the Marsh handball, then gets it back towards Moyle. Working hard again, Thompson. Second effort to young Matt Maguire. Going to show some skill there, but forgot to kick it. And holding the ball, that was a bit harsh. And away go the Crows through McLeod. Player on his own on the wing. He was getting some attention from a trainer. He's looked up and thought, I've got the ball coming. How easy is this? Away goes Kane Johnson. Breaking now through the middle. Striding forward, but getting a hand on it, Fraser Gary. Good defensive play. They should get the turnover here. And Stevie Lawrence gets it back to Aussie Jones. And Aussie Jones pops it into the crowd. A poor kick from Aussie.
Not his best piece of work, but he's had a pretty reasonable day today, Aussie.
So, third quarter, deep into the third quarter. Aussie Jones with a goal.
Letting them off the hook, they aren't they? The Saints, they've got it their moment.
Plenty of possessions by Aussie Jones, 17 in total. This is Kane Johnson. 85, 90 from goal. Gee, that's a good kick. He's kicked for distance there. Crowell at the back. Opportunity for Stengline. Over to Crowell. Right foot kick off the side of the boot. No goal there. It's into the forward pocket, or the back pocket now for the Saints. And they clear it. Rewalt from Aussie Jones. So back pocket to back pocket. Another opportunity wasted there, Chris. You're there, Chris.
You certainly was, mate. Yes, I was here. I was waiting for you to carry on.
You were just disappointed, weren't you? As the Saints work it out. Maguire on the western wing.
He's been okay.
Yeah, hasn't been too bad.
He's just 17 years old, Matt Maguire.
Sets it up. That's a pretty good kick. Davis overran it. Now Burke with a chance. He's got a couple to contend with, though, and one of them's Smart. Now Burke gets some assistance from Davis. Close to the line, and it is out of bounds. So the umpire coming across, he'll toss it in, and if they all look up, they'll see that Adelaide on the scoreboard lead 10-9, the Saints 6-6.
And on that scoreboard it'll show that they've played just over 24 minutes in this third quarter. They led by 39 points at half-time, so the Saints have got a couple of goals back, and Hamill's looking to make it 3. And he has. That's a terrific kick by Aaron Hamill.
By comparing hundreds of loans from over 20 leading lenders, your mortgage choice broker takes the legwork out of looking for a home loan. We can even come to you 7 days a week. So if you don't have time to find the right home loan, free call Mortgage Choice on 1-800-646-789 or visit our website.
So the lead now has been whittled right down to 21 points. Adelaide 10-9, 69, the Saints 7-6, 48. So the Saints have had a lot of the play. Cripps over toward Aussie Jones, who's one of their key playmakers. Down toward left half forward, good solid strong mark taken by Stengline. Just looked at his man and said, just let me get on with it. I took that fair and square. Crowell, now that's out of bounds on the full. And that's unfortunate because Aussie Jones now is going to put the Saints well and truly back into attack. Instead he goes sideways, but it's still okay. Lawrence, 85 from goal, inside 50. They just need a mark. Their delivery hasn't been good. And as a result of that, the Crows are able to work it away. McLeod, Rashudo involved, and he sends it inside 50. looking for Burton with Rewalt. Burton around the corner, has a shot and kicks a wonderful goal. Sensational stuff from Burton. That was fantastic.
Yes, the rebound, Chris.
I mean, it was fantastic play, but the turnovers, we've said it time and time again, it kills you. St Kilda again breaking down at centre half forward. The kick forward, it went short. It was the wrong option, but that comes about when you don't have tall timber up forward. The resultant rebounding goal and a great snap over his shoulder by Brett Burton.
Terrific goal from Burton, as we see there.
And maybe the game breaker.
Well, it could be. I mean, Stephen Lawrence bursting through, poor kick. All the Adelaide Crows, all sensing it, all running hard, going through the middle, finished off with a brilliant finish from Brett Burton. His third goal for the afternoon. He is the leading goal scorer on the ground, and just a bit more breathing space for the Crows, and they're back out to 27 points. And the Saints will want to get one back, but they're going to run out of time. So you mentioned it might be the game breaker, Chris. Certainly the timing of it was perfect for Adelaide.
It certainly was, and St Kilda now go to three-quarter time with their heads down, Adelaide with their heads up. One passage of play makes such a big difference. You never know what footy is the most important footy in a game. That one from Stephen Lawrence certainly was.
There's still time for the Saints, but Adelaide lead 11-9-75 to St Kilda 7-6-48.
And that's obviously an indication of fatigue.
Yeah, it is. You look at both sides, both using ice vests, both using interchange pretty much. So you'll see a few players coming on and off just to give a rest and hopefully get some run out of this last quarter.
And Matty, he used the phrase active recovery to me before. I thought he sounded like a doctor. Warren, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, look, I think it's just when the blokes come on the boundary line, just keep running and jogging. So, not just sitting down, let the lactic acid build up.
Rob Popplestone's with Peter Curran, Adelaide's assistant coach.
Well, I certainly am. I'm here with Crows assistant Peter Curran. Pete, the pressure's on a little bit in this last quarter.
Yeah, look, we've got to win the quarter. They've really nutted us around the stoppages there, and Everett's been getting his hand on the ball, so we've just got to tighten up and get inside and start winning some ball out of those stoppages.
Yeah, it should be a test both on and off the bench, guys.
Thanks, Rob. Rob there with Peter Curran, number 25 for Hawthorn. And, well,
going back to 86 again.
Another Hawthorn player with Tony Hall. We don't have to go back to that anymore. As you see Mark Rasciuto having a chat with the umpires there.
Taking the mark in play.
Or just
mark and then 50 metres.
Yeah, we're just listening
How
in
many
there.
sirens we had?
He was just, I guess, clarifying something there.
Are we right?
But this first opening bounce, St Kilda with the aid of that breeze. And if they can just be a little bit cleaner, as you mentioned, three-quarter time there, guys, a little bit cleaner, get some clean ball into Stewie Lowe, who's now gone down to the goal square. So you'd be happy with that?
Well, I'm happy with him in the forward 50, but I think he's playing just a fraction deep.
So all in readiness for this final quarter. There is Stewie Lowe and the roving player Milne. A match-up that Nigel Smart would like the ball in the air rather than on the ground there.
Yeah, he's not great at ground level on a small play like that, Nigel, so that's an interesting one and maybe something that St Kilda can use to their advantage.
So Everett to do battle with Marsh. And Marsh getting it down, but going through quickly Thompson. Wrapping up Hart, spills to Baker. Clever kick from him, just pushing it forward quickly. There's the match-up that we were talking about. It was in the air for Smart. At ground level, Crowell. Here's Burke. Can he get the first one? No. He squeezed it through, but it wasn't to be. But dangerous was Nathan Burke, and St Kilda have the first score.
26 points. Here's the lead to the Saints. 11-9 to 7-7, 75 to 49. So it's going to be Benny Hart to bring it back into play from the northern end of Football Park. All-Australian, wonderful defender. One of the leaders for Adelaide. That's a real ground coverer. 4 or 5 up. Everett at the back. Clever work. Xavier Clark trying to pick up, and he does. And he bangs it inside 50 again. They'll contest in the right forward pocket. Lowe got his hands to it. Footy goes through somehow. He's got big hands. They're buckets. No doubt about that. But the leather did make its way through. 75-49. And the umpire to toss it in right forward pocket.
Yeah, it's just the 6 possessions for Stewart this afternoon. Just the 4 marks, and they'll be hoping to build on that to get the Saints back into this game. Here's Milne, live wire, forward pocket. Looking for spot, trying to spot a play in the clear. Does it go 15 metres? It does, and there's the 5th mark for Stewie Lowe. So that's the two-pronged attack they're looking for. One small, one tall.
And you spoke about the matchup with Nigel Smart not being a great one. There, Milne showing his turn of pace, breaking away from Nigel, getting loose and onto his left foot and finding Stewie Lowe. As you said, both very important players. Now, he hasn't kicked well today, Matthew.
No, and I've been backing him all afternoon, so I'll stay with him. Just over 14,000 people here at Football Park. And Stewie Lowe. Well, this is an important kick. bring the margin back to 20 points. He's had a couple of tries. He hit the post right on quarter time. So from 45 metres, Stewie Lowe, the start of this last quarter, has kicked it, and here come the Saints.
Three-day reserved grandstand seats at the Clipsal 500 Adelaide are going fast, priced from just $112.50. So book it fast now on 131246.
Channel 10, the AFL and AFL Record are giving you the chance to attend one of the first 3 rounds of the Wizard Home Loans Cup for free when you purchase a copy of the AFL Record pre-season edition. Purchase a copy at your local newsagent for your free coupon.
9.75 Adelaide. The Saints are coming, as Matthew said, 8-7, 55. 20 the difference. Marsh, an important year for him, up in ruck. Saints going into attack. Well done, Johnson. Sensing some concern, gets onto it quickly. Down toward right half forward. Rewalt, seen a bit of him. He's an impressive young man. Kicked off the ground by Burton. That was good to Welsh. He releases Rashudo, and Rashudo goes short. And it's forced through for a behind. Big build-up, but nothing doing. 11-10 Adelaide, 76 the Saints, 8-7, 55.
Aussie Jones to bring it in. 20 possessions to Jones. And that falls for Cripps, but he's going to get run down by Dowdy. He has support in Rewalt. Peckett, just does well. Just eludes the tackle from Crowell, then bangs it forward inside the forward 50. Out comes Smart for Adelaide. Trying to now just work it round the boundary. Magnificent kick from Nigel Smart. Somehow kept it in and got it to Crowell, who plays on immediately to Goodwin. Adelaide trying to build now. That kick has put Nelson under pressure, and Burke. Now the turnover is from Adelaide's point of view. If St Kilda can get it going, Milne's on his own. Thompson got it forward. Good punch from Hart. Now Peckett unloads from 60. Out in front of Milne, but it might go all the way by itself. There's Milne. There's a goal. Here come the Saints. Free kick. Can you believe it? No. Stephen Milne is proving very dangerous. And unfortunately for him, he's gone and kicked the goal and been pinged 50 metres for it as well.
I am speechless. I need to see a replay of that, but there's no free kick there, surely. Oh, you have got to be kidding, don't they? Break your heart.
Well, the umpire says play on. That's what the Crows do. Poor kick, but Stengline good enough to grab it and then chip it around. And now Crow, who's pretty well in the middle. 11-10, 76. The Saints 8-7, 55. About 60 metres from goal. Long kick, well inside 50 now for Adelaide. They need a goal because the Saints are coming. Wolf in trouble. In fact, it was Voss. Chance now for Dowdy. Good tackling though. It's desperate stuff. Now Rashudo. Hand pass okay. Welsh should kick a goal, and he has. Well, that was good stuff. They just kept persisting there and persisting.
Gee, I know we shouldn't harp on it, but they've taken it from one end of the ground to the other to get the goal. So it's a 2-goal turnaround from a decision in the goal square, not allowing the Milne goal.
Well, I don't know what you can say about it. I mean, to get a decision so wrong like that, I mean, it's just criminal. And now Adelaide, it puts the game almost beyond reach of St Kilda. They're going to kick 5 goals now to get back in front. They kicked that other one. You know, we're into a 2-goal game, and it's a totally different story. It breaks your heart for a young, emerging team like St Kilda. You need your breaks to go your way. That time the break going the way of the Crows.
Good presence of mind, though, regardless, for Scott Welsh to still bend that through as he was being dragged to the ground. He gets his first for the afternoon. The Crows get the breathing space they were looking for. Cripps searching forward. Everett at ground level. There's Ben Nelson. Tackled by 2 Saints. Baker steals it off of Crow, and McLeod trying to do like... They're stealing it off everyone at the moment. And there's been ruled kicking in danger from Thompson, and away go the Crows quickly. Goodwin. Johnson. Rashudo. The midfield combined. Clark chases hard, but Rashudo still gets the kick. Hudson brought some solidity to that defence as he's gone back there at half-time. Rewalt to Jones, and now they're away, the Saints, to Steve Lawrence. And Burke has found space. And he's got Everett loose for him further afield. Everett, he'll probably get it about 60, 75 metres out. Too far to score, swings back. Up high, Clark, over the top, Hamill. Ground level Thompson, roving it, going back. Black, can he get a play on the lead? That's Stuart Lowe, it's out in front of him, it's too far. Now Biglands, does he search for the boundary? He does. It's well played, just playing the percentages. St Kilda continue to come.
Yeah, just a poor kick by Black. Had Stewie Lowe on his own, just needed to sit the ball up in front of him, but just couldn't quite execute with the leg.
27 points is this lead to Adelaide. What have we played? 7.5 minutes, so we're probably about a third the way through the last quarter in this Wizard Cup clash. It's pretty desperate. And the Saints into attack well and truly. Here's Burke. There's a chance for him to try and keep it in play, being pressured by Simon Goodwin. Burke not happy without the helmet. Not that that's got anything to do with the whole thing. 82-55.
I think we're probably glad the boundary umpires aren't mic'd up there. He wasn't happy, Nathan.
No, he wasn't happy at all. 82-55, that lead 27 points. Adelaide need desperately to get this away from the danger zone. Short kick, too short. Cripps. It was a bit high by Crow. It was a bit crude, and the umpire, I would think, is going to pull this back. Yep, and Cripps is going to have another crack at it. So Crow just a little bit too high there. Another look at it, no question about that.
Got to like his work, Cripps. He's been a really good player in the second half, especially some nice work in the midfield, nice and hard and tough at the footy.
He's had 11 disposals so far. Here he goes. This to bring the margin back to 21. Cripps from 40 metres, and he's missed to the right-hand side. I'll have to have a look at him. There's the confirmation. So it's 82-56, and we've played almost 9 minutes last quarter.
Well, he's been no orphan today with their goal kicking St Kilda. They just haven't set up properly at all with their shots for goal.
Good work on the mark at that stage as well by Crow, and he has it now to Ben Hart, who's running, and he's got some space in front of him. He's also got Rashudo. Quick hands, Johnson. Oh, that was well played. Hart, who backed out, who kept running. Ball comes to ground. Jones, been good for the Saints. Brett Voss. Well, that is a handball they probably would rather have another time. A little bit ambitious, but here they go through Cripps to Thompson, who just lost that for a second, but still kept his feet and kept going. And now he gets it to Steve Lawrence. Lawrence now looking for a mark inside 50. Milne, not the marking player they want. It was only Burke or Milne. Smart. And Adelaide with enough numbers. Great tackle from Aaron Hamill on Tyson. Stengline, terrific.
Was a great tackle, but your point about you know, the tall targets again, and we've said it on numerous occasions, Milne and Burke, the two key targets at centre half forward, are not the options you'd be looking for running off half back.
Adelaide lead by 26 points. We've played a tick under 10 minutes of the last quarter. High says play it on. Well, here's a chance now for the Saints, and he's missed. And that was Andrew Thompson. He was steaming into goal, and he misses to the right.
Well, boys, they have not been without their chances. Even given the free kick against Milne and the resultant goal to the Adelaide Footy Club, St Kilda have not been out without their chances in the second half.
Well, they've been the dominant team in the second half, haven't they, possession-wise?
Yeah, they certainly have been all over the Crows, especially from about the midway mark of the third quarter.
But Adelaide's still in control on the scoreboard. It's a 25-point margin. The short kick goes to Smart, and he just pops it over the top to Tyson Edwards. The dual premiership players combining there, and another short one to Ben Hart.
Poor old Aussie. He was right in the middle of him and Johnson.
Aussie in the middle. And it goes to Kane Johnson. Stulo working the mark, making sure, or holding up Johnson for as long as is possible without infringing, as Johnson now searching for a tall timber player in Ben Marsh. He came over the top of Lawrence, who is sore, he's hurt, he's down, but he gets up. And he is very tough, as is Steve Lawrence. There's Heath Black, who will be an important player in this team this year.
Look, Robert Harvey certainly needs some help in the midfield, and Heath Black is going to be one of those players.
There's Marsh going right over the top as the boundary throw in here in front of the members at Football Park. St Kilda desperately trying to get some reward for their effort. As Edwards gets it from Rashudo, and a beautiful kick from Edwards.
There's the difference.
Burton out. I haven't seen a goal kick in his pocket since Brian Benke. all 2 quarters ago.
Very good.
And he gets it to Tyson Stengline. He squared it up. He knew it was impossible, Chris, but they've worked it to the other side where obviously it's a lot easier. But Benke now has to get round Brett Voss. On the up, to Welsh. Welsh tucked in the pocket, hooks it back well, and gets it to Ben Marsh. Everyone arriving late, but the mark has been paid, and Ben Marsh will take the shot.
A great kick by Scottish Welsh there, just to square the ball to Benny Marsh, and he does some nice work up in the forward lines, Benny Marsh. He's got to start developing his game as a ruckman, but certainly far better noted as a forward pocket specialist for the Adelaide Footy Club, taking a nice mark, and he's normally a fairly accurate kick for goal.
Well, he's played 40 senior games. He's managed 16 goals in that time. And this would be an important one for Adelaide to make it very difficult for St Kilda. And he has missed by quite a way to the left. So disappointing result for him, and just the behind to Adelaide.
And in punting terms, we haven't picked too many winners today with shots for goals. Stewie Lowe's let us down.
Do we ever?
Now big Benny Marsh has let us down. No, you're right.
Aussie Jones, southern end of Football Park. Only, how many here today? About 10, wasn't it?
Just over 14.
Oh, 14 was it? Okay, 14,000. About the same as last week. The Port Essendon game. And what's going on here, Chris? Walk us through this.
He's walking through about 50 metres, I think, for just taking a step over the line. Oh, we'll get it right one day.
Okay, so there it is. The umpire says that's where you've got to stand. The Saints all of a sudden down towards 60, now inside 50. An infringement against Stengline. And Fraser Garrick will take this free kick. Stengline disappointed with this.
He just got him over the shoulder there. A little bit of a clumsy attempt to spoil, and Garrick held his ground well, but the free kick was there.
One of the key defenders, Fraser Garrick, for the Saints. Just doing up his shoelace. Making sure that everything falls into place, Chris. You've got to have everything organised, don't you?
You've got to have your kit in order.
Yep. 83-57. And we played 13 minutes and around about 40 seconds of this. The last quarter, Wizard Home Loan Cup action. And the Saints will go down. The Crows will prevail, and they'll be undefeated so far in this competition. So Fraser Garrick taking plenty of time. The preparation is so important. He's about 50 out. It's a long kick. It's almost there. 2 or 3 up over the head of the pack. And it's through for a behind. So a huge build-up. A little anticlimactic there. Adelaide 12-11-83. The Saints 8-10-58.
You're not giving him a chance, Mark?
No,
the Saints,
not now.
Brave call?
Not now.
Oh, very brave call. Could come back to haunt you.
Well, look, it may well come back to haunt me.
As Rewalt is there for St Kilda, but the ball comes to ground, and Stengline was in the right spot, front and square. They work it round to the centre wing. Shell come out to meet it, as did Johnson. Maguire, good vision. Saints had 2 in the middle, and they've got players on the other side if Cripps can just get free. Oh, great working on the mark by Rashudo. Now Cripps goes to the other side and finally gets to Steve Lawrence, but just enough by Rashudo on the mark just to delay it, so Adelaide gets some numbers back. Lawrence now, the leading player was Rewalt, and he gets one for in the back. He back onto it. Obviously there's the move made by Grant Thomas. The young player has moved from centre half back to centre half forward. Or has he just run down and followed the player, Chris?
I think he's actually just pushed himself down, but he's been pretty good today. You know, his job on Burton's probably not an ideal matchup for the big fella, but he's certainly held his own. Burton's kicked his 3, but he can certainly walk off the ground with his head up today.
Well, this will be one that Mark Aston will be watching closely, because it could put the Saints a little bit closer. He's happy, he's got it, and they get back. Another goal to St Kilda.
Bricks, topsoil, planks.
Topsoil, planks, handbrake.
Bugger.
Bugger. Bugger.
Bugger me. Bugger. Will always look good in a Hilux.
12-11-83. The Saints 9-10-64. And that margin, as Matthew made quite clear, was 19 points. So the Saints still with a chance. Peckett. Long hand pass. They're about to go forward. Aussie Jones. Left footer. Inside the 50. They need a mark, and they've got a mark. And it's Stewie Lowe. And he's going to kick from 30. Perhaps even less, about 25.
But again, just shows the advantage of tall timber up in your forward lines. You don't have to be pinpoint with your pass. You've just got to get it in the air. When you've got a hands like Stewie Lowe, beautiful catch by the big fella.
And good work by Milne. He knew that Lowe was coming through, just held off, didn't go for it, kept smart out of the contest.
Yeah, very good. And I wouldn't be putting myself in a contest with Stewie Lowe, that's for sure. But a beautiful catch by the big fella with the flight of the footy. He has not kicked well for goal today. He's missed probably, I think, at least 2 goals. This one is one he must kick.
Well, he's got to kick it, no doubt about that for the Saints. 83-64. Here's Stewie, right foot, and he has split the centre. So that is his second. You heard all clear.
CommSec understands people on the move can't always stay up to date with their share prices. That's why we've introduced SMS alerts. So no matter where you are or what time it is, you can stay in touch with the share market. commsec.com.au.
Why do kids love Charlie's? Same reason everyone does. It's fresh, fun and fantastic value. Charlie's all-you-can-eat family diner. Make a feast of it every delicious day of the year.
Actually, within a kick.
Ball, absolutely.
So they have a bit of momentum. Adelaide now being asked the question as Rashudo pushes forward. Big punch from Fraser Gehrig. And there's a free kick, and it's going to the Saints. So a free kick will go to Heath Black as we go down to the boundary line. Francis Leach.
Yeah, Nick Riewoldt gone up forward. Stewie Lowe's there as well, as is Aaron Hamill. So the Saints are obviously going to try and take a few catches up forward and maybe snatch this game.
Well, they may be listening to Chris McDermott because he's been crying for that all afternoon as Jason Cripps heads towards Nick Riewoldt. Spills over the bait. Can Blake get there first? He can. Loses his balance. Good tackle by Stengline. And holding the ball is the decision by umpire Michael Avon. And away go the Crows. And it's Bassett on the outer side.
Yeah, it could be a crucial play that as far as Adelaide is concerned. Welsh now. It's 83-70, the margin 13. As the Adelaide side work it forward. And they've got a chance here to go inside 50. This is Goodwin. Long kick, well inside 50. Big pack, great mark, Crowell. Strong grab, strong hands, and he's about 30 metres out, directly in front.
Well, he is a supremely fit athlete, is young Andrew Crowell. Beautiful overhead, can run, can jump. Known more as a defender, but at that stage pushing himself down, dropping into the hole, and a great catch overhead.
Well, there's the angle, and there is none. He is directly in front. He's going back, he's concentrating.
And a result of this, I mean, this is Tyson Stengline's goal. I mean, it was a beautiful tackle, just showing why he won that Best Team Man award.
Played 11 of the first 12 games. Last year made his debut in 2000 for Adelaide. Here he is now, his side 13 points up. And he has split the centre. So it's 19 points to the Crows late in this quarter.
We've still got plenty of time for St Kilda, but that was the goal that Adelaide needed. And they certainly got it via some good work in defence.
Play on, play on!
Stengline there again. Just pushed it forward. Here's Gehrig. Uses the ball well. Got it to Cripps. Black running for him through the centre circle. Gets some distance with that kick. Milne on the lead, and Milne gets it. They won't give in, the Saints. They're almost playing him like a leading full forward.
But you've got to ask why they haven't been doing it all day. I mean, there, Heath Black, he gets the ball in the midfield. All he has to worry about is getting it inside 50. Just goes long. He doesn't go to Milne on the lead, but there's open spaces because you've got your big man. Bang, he finds a target.
Well, he kicked one in the second quarter, one in the third. This is for his third of the afternoon, and he keeps them within touch. He's got 3. Stephen Milne, well done. Wonderful play by the Saints, reminiscent of what Adelaide just did. They worked it from their half-back line, good use of the ball, direct, straight down the goals.
Keeping it simple too. I mean, maximum yardage, minimum use. I think that's what it's all about. Get the ball forward as quickly as you can.
This lead now is 13, and you did right. That was beautiful delivery. Good speed by Milne. He did get a hand in there, did get a fist in there, smart. But Milne was able to mark and goal.
Here we go.
So it's 13 points deep into the last quarter. 13-11 to 11-10. Exciting stuff in the last term. Wizard Cup home loan action. Adelaide and the Saints, both first up winners, both desperate to win, and there's 4.5 minutes remaining. So the Saints can do it. They're right back in business.
Oh, they can do it now, Mark.
Well, yes, they can do it. Yes, they can do it. It's a funny game. It isn't over until it's over. Let me tell you that.
That's too cliche in a sentence.
Oh, yeah, well, I was instructed to say that one. 13-11 to 11-10. Here's Doughty under pressure from Cripps. Over the footy, time ticking away. And Adelaide hanging on. But only just 13 points is their lead. We've played 22.5 minutes last quarter.
Regardless of the result, Chris, St Kilda have worked very hard in the second half. They came out after half-time and their work ethic has improved immensely.
Yeah, much better brand of footy as well.
So Rashudo just deciding basically himself that there should be a ball up there. He stopped and said, oh, we're not going anywhere here.
And, you know, just got their midfield working much better. St Kilda with the use of Black, the use of Cripps in the midfield. You know, a couple of changes to the forward line set up as well.
So we've got a big group of players around the ball, and it's an Adelaide free kick against Everett. Goes to Clark, much to the delight of this Adelaide crowd. A big cheer as Clark then switches it to the running Biglands. The kick was untidy though, put Biglands under pressure. If that ball stays in, it may suit...
Great attack on the footy.
I was going to say it was going to suit St Kilda, but Tyson Stengline got there quickly. The tackle from Lowe went around his neck, and now the free kick to Tyson Stengline, as we see here, on the up, picked it up, and Stewie just came in too high. Stengline gets under that, so tough one to mark, but if Burton's there, it's a chance. Oh, great work, fantastic handball on the up from Voss, but they cut it off the Crows. Benke slapped it towards Bickley. He gets it in turn to Goodwin, out to Johnson. There's a bit on behind play as the ball goes to the goal square. Here's a chance for Daniel Shell, and that may be the one that the Crows get to put the game beyond doubt.
15 points. It's not much, but it may be enough. It may be enough. We are deep into this last quarter, and the Crows hanging on, but it's been a very, very impressive last, I guess, quarter and a half by the Saints. Rashudo battling, trying to work his way in another direction to that of Aaron Hamill, and eventually the umpire says, I'll throw it up. 95-76. So Adelaide, although pretty impressive in that first half, but the Saints very good.
Well, the Saints, what they've done by getting close in this game, with their 68-point win last week, they're still giving themselves an opportunity. Should Adelaide fumble at the last hurdle, or stumble, I should say, if they happen to lose to Melbourne here next week. So their percentage will still see them in with a chance to go through.
And more importantly, you spoke about credibility and respect, and they've certainly got that today.
It's Heath Black, number 6 for the Saints. 95-76. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. It's been an intriguing game. We thought it might have been a blowout, but you would think that the Saints hierarchy would be relatively happy. I mean, they won't be happy with a loss, but they certainly haven't given in. Here's Andrew McLeod, beautiful hand pass to him, and he has kicked a wonderful goal. Sensational stuff from Andrew McLeod, and that is the ball game.
Adelaide have kicked the last two, and they've got the margin out to a very comfortable 25 points now. And perhaps, well, they'll be very pleased that they have picked up just when the game looked to be perhaps getting away from them. They've picked the last couple. They go forward again, and it's Gehrig who makes good position against Burton. The ball luckily gets back towards Johnson, though. Doughty got it back to Welsh. He's got one. He's looking for his second. And all of a sudden, the Crows are just finishing this game off. And that percentage thing I was talking about is going out the window. Another goal to the Crows, another goal to Scott Welsh in 3 and 2 minutes. And that is the ball game.
I thought they would win.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
And we've spoken today about the skill level of both teams, how St Kilda's certainly let them down. The Crows certainly hasn't today. Their foot skills have been fantastic. Doughty with the ball onto Welsh. Left foot or right foot around goal. Scott Welsh is a great finisher. Kicked 4 last week against the Bears today. Adding to that tally. Beautiful on the left foot. Just a beautiful kick for goal. Great balance.
Actually, on a serious note, you just can't write any team off these days, can you, in 5 or 6 minutes of footy? They can kick 4 or 5 quick goals
very quickly,
as the Saints did, and you can fall for the old 3-card trick. Anyway, 16-11, 107. Adelaide, the Saints 11-10, 76. And it's inside the attacking zone. Lenny Hayes, the hand pass just didn't quite reach his mark. He's got to go in again and try and battle for it. 4 or 5 over the top of him. 107-76. Adelaide will win.
And again, boys, the Crows forward line, the new look forward line continues to work, continues to produce. Benke, Shell, Welsh all today contributing to goals.
They've spread around, haven't they? Burton's got 3, Shell's got 3. And you mentioned Welsh has got 2. Here's Doughty trying to get involved in the act and get another one. It's just on the line. It's through. So Adelaide finishing this game off beautifully, and another goal, and that is another goal to Michael Doughty. That's his second. 4 quick goals by the Crows, and probably, in the context of the game, disappointing that they'll look at the margin and say, well, St Kilda were never in this, but they were.
Yeah, it's not a true reflection of Michael Doughty, who we've spoken about before, had a good game against the Bears, the Lions last week. Again, knocking up today with 18 touches off the wing, a couple of goals. And really, the wings are a trouble spot for Adelaide. They haven't got natural wingmen in their team. James Gallagher, a young player, an emerging young player, injured at the moment. Doughty putting his hands up. A great performance today, following up his good performance last week. A real chance to start the season on the wing for the Crows.
So all of a sudden, it looks like a comprehensive win, because Adelaide have dominated over the last 4 or 5 minutes. Here's Cripps over toward Thompson. Lenny Hayes runs into trouble. That was Scher. Opportunity for them to go forward now. Long kick, Lawrence for the Saints inside their attacking 50, and that was quite clever by Milne. Got it out. Long hand pass by Peckett. Left foot kick, and there it is. It is over, and the Crows have prevailed. 17-11, 113. They've defeated the Saints, 11-10, 76.
Yes, that point just counting there, Heathblake just right on the side will actually make that 11-11. So a straight 6-goal margin, the Crows. 4 of those goals in the last 4 or 5 minutes. And they will be very happy with their win. They are now undefeated. They will return here at Football Park for their 3rd round next week. And now would see themselves as favourite to move through to the semi-final.
Welcome back to Football Park. Final score, Adelaide over the Saints, 17-11, 113. The Saints 11-11, 77, the margin 36 points. Burton and Shell 3 apiece. Doughty, Welsh and McLeod 2 apiece for Adelaide. Milne kicked 3, Lowe 2 for the Saints, and a number of players with singles. Let's have a look at those. Crow, Edwards, Bode, Binky and Goodwin for Adelaide, and for the Saints, Cripps, Blake and Wolf. Rob Popplestone joined us. Anything in particular that you liked, that you saw today, that the Crows did?
Really impressed the way the Crows were able to stabilise once they were pressured late in that last quarter, get the momentum back in their favour, and then run away quite impressively with the game.
And their forward structure wasn't too bad, was it?
Pretty good, pretty good. It will improve as the games go by.
Okay, let's have a look at the 3rd round of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. Friday night, Richmond taking on Carlton, West Coast taking on Geelong.
Yeah, look, should be a good round of football, as we've gotten used to. On Saturday, of course, Western Bulldogs up against Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide get out of the state for the first time. They travel to Colonial Stadium. Okay,
Brisbane and the Saints, Freo and Essendon. And let's have a look at the remaining games. On Sunday, the Hawks and Sydney, Adelaide and Melbourne, and Collingwood and the Kangaroos. Big one for Adelaide. Well, they got through, so that's 2 in a row for Adelaide. That's a good start for them.
It is indeed a perfect start. So, look, all signs are good for Crows fans and Crows coaching staff. It can only improve from here on in.
Thanks, Rob. On behalf of all of our commentators, bye for now.
He's a crowd favourite already, and he's coming up for possession number 13. Wants to go short, does that, and it's a beautiful kick, and Welsh takes an easy mark, and he just gives them an option up forward, Jared, doesn't he? He spent the first quarter on the bench.
Yeah, I like Scotty Walsh. I think he's a very good player. Knows when to lead. Generally, he converts well, although we put the moz on him in the 2nd quarter, and we did that successfully. But that's a pretty easy lead, and Matthew Whelan just needs to be careful. That could well have been a 50.
He's kicked 1-1. You can make that 2-1, and it's taken Adelaide just 1 minute and 10 seconds to post their first goal of the board in the 3rd term.
Wystick will go against White in the ruck contest. Neither ruckman really a run at it. Bickley had it, was tackled when he didn't. And the free kick will go to Liam Shelley. Go against Liam Shelley rather, to Bickley.
Just on the ruck work, we know that we're experimenting with the wider circle there, which prevents the ruckman from getting a great run up. It has helped them a little bit.
Johnson inside 50, Benke, the little dish off. It ends up with Bode. Screws it around his body, goes right to the line. Welsh takes the mark, but he was over it, and it was through for a behind.
Yeah, I think it's helped them in preventing injuries, and that's why it was brought in. It's a pretty good outcome, but it looks to have robbed the game of something, and that's the opening bounce and the ruckman coming in and having a fair crack at each other in the air.
So the Demons to bring it straight back up the middle through Wheatley. Goes short and finds Walsh. Wide to Broadbridge. He's kicked partly smothered, heads towards the line, and in the end, not a bad result, given that ricochet could have gone in any direction, Jared.
Yes, it could have, but the boundary umpire gets another stat.
So another throw in. We'll see the smother there, and a Broadbridge kick. Ball thrown back into play. Adelaide circling for another goal. Rutten had front position in the contest and will take the free kick. He was held illegally by Jeff White. So Ben Rutten, playing his third Wizard Cup game for the season, kicks towards the top of the goal square. Plenty of players around the ball. Wheatley dives on top of it. Walsh dives on top of him. The umpire no option but to ball it up.
What about you, Kim? Are you in favour of the wider circle? Would you like to see it in the main season?
Well, I can't see that it's added anything at this stage, Jared, to tell the truth. I like yourself. I like to see the two ruckmen running at each other. I think it adds a little bit of excitement and entertainment towards the game. But then again, we're not ruckmen and we're not running into each other every minute of a game.
Anthony McDonald, he's running into something and it's trouble. Got it out to Funk. He's taken into tackle by Burton and the umpire will throw it in.
What I do like, Jared, is the throwing up of the ball around the ground, though. I think it makes the game and the play move on a lot quicker.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So a scrappy opening to this third term. It's Adelaide by 42 points. From the ruck contest, Leoncelli gets his hands on the ball for Melbourne. Kicks towards the boundary line. He was looking for Whelan. Is it out on the full? Yes, it is. So Adelaide get the chance to pump it back inside their 50 and maintain the pressure. Here's Andrew McLeod having a breather on the boundary line. Did enough in the first half, had 9 disposals. Some exciting play, kicked a goal.
He might have been benched for missing that goal. Nothing more unlikely in football.
We'll check with Dennis Hill, Adelaide's coach for the day, a little later on. It comes off the hands of the pack to Edwards. High up and under snap. He cops some pressure as he was just putting boot to ball. Sprayed it wide to the right-hand side and it's out of bounds on the full. Funk will take the free kick and we see it on replay there. Just good pressure there from Funk. Created the turnover.
Now the D's need to set something up. Maybe Andrew Leoncelli can do that. He kicks it along the members' wing. Nice looking kick. And he found this impressive Stephen Armstrong, who puts it out towards the half-forward flank. Underneath that is Godfrey. He's thrown into the ground. Wanted a free kick. Rashudo ruthless with the tackle.
Well, Simon Godfrey showed last year that he is an ornery character. He's a pest, he's a classic tagger, and he's upsetting Mark Rashudo at the moment, so we will watch that clash with great interest.
Just having a little niggle again away from the ball. Clark from behind. Tap goes down. Leoncelli is there. A number of players trying to fight for this 50-50 ball, including Nigel Smart. Now picked up by Travis Johnston. Back towards Walsh. Walsh puts it inside 50 to the hot spot, but Adelaide have all the numbers. But gee, was there a push in the back there? Not paid by the umpire. Melbourne may have been unlucky. Burton streaks away, has no one to kick to, so he goes for the safety of the boundary line.
And Simon Godfrey 2 seconds ago was unceremoniously dumped by Mark Rashudo. He wasn't pleased with the being tackled 15 metres away from the ball. But Godfrey, well, Greg Williams used to tell the taggers, if you're going to scrag, then beware because you're going to be dealt with severely. And I think Mark Rashudo has set the same message.
Yes, he doesn't put up with a lot of fertiliser. The ball goes inside 50. Wheatley has it at the back of the pack. The handball goes over the top to Funk. He was tackled and dispossessed. Bowed in there again. Wheatley has another crack at it. Edwards on top of him. The player looking for a free kick in McDonald managed to extract himself from the pack, got the handball out towards the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in about 50 out on the outer side. 6.5 minutes gone. Adelaide 60 points. The Melbourne Demons 18.
Well, this was a bit like a pinball. The number of players trying to get the ball out. That was a head-high tackle. He played for it, and that's perhaps why he didn't get it awarded by the umpire. But we need somebody to clear this mess because just getting a touch ugly at the moment.
So White got the tap down to Doughty, but he was tackled by McDonald going nowhere. The umpire will ball it up again. Plenty of players around the ball. Here's Rashudo. There's Godfrey. Right by him again. Out to Ben Nelson, the former Carlton player, shoots for goal. Misses to the near side. One behind to Ben Nelson. His first possession for the afternoon. And Adelaide moved to 9-7-61. Bit of a scuffle on the outer side there. A few tempers just getting heated. 9-7 Adelaide, Melbourne 2-6, the margin 43 points, Jared.
You picked it, Jared. I think Rashudo just put down Godfrey and then Funk got involved.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt that Simon Godfrey is going to, if he continues to do what he's doing, and he does it particularly well, he's going to end up pretty bruised and sorry for himself, all in a legal way, of course.
So that may well be the interest in the second half. Just spicing things up a little bit, Simon Godfrey. Johnston kicks it out wide to Armstrong. Gathers on the bounce, turns. and goes towards half forward. It's a 2-on-1 if Melbourne can keep it in. It's Walsh. Steps around Biglands, then drop the ball. Has support from Jolly. Jolly has time. Tumbles a kick inside 50. It's 2-on-2. At the back is Brad Green for the Demons. He's got 2 to beat as well. Can't pick it up. Bassett in there putting pressure on him. Rutten's in there as well. He's tackled, carried forward in the tackle. There's a bit of a rugby scrum developing here. Umpires allowing it to roll on. Clark now to Hart, and eventually, mercifully, it finds the boundary line.
Brad Green, just 9 possessions today. Hasn't been effective on the scoreboard. He's a player with immense talent, but just not finding enough football. And if he's to take the next step and become a class senior player, then he's got to do more work.
So a flock of crows around that ball. Came out to Nigel Smart. Kicks towards the centre of the ground. Nicholson up in front, takes the mark in front of Rutten. So Alistair Nicholson for the Demons. Plenty of crows in Melbourne's inside 50. Decides to kick long. A big pack will form here at centre half forward. Off the hands of Stenglein. I'll try again. It comes out towards Hart. He kicks it out wide. Broadbridge runs away from Walsh. Little handball to Walsh. Walsh will bring it inboard towards the 50. It's set up. Edwards flies over the top and wins the fist down. Then goes and gets his own ball. Well played. Tries to step around Broadbridge. Fends him off. Kicks around his body towards the outer wing. Benke has a man in support. It's Bickley. Releases him now. Bickley will go inside 50. Much more open forward line for Adelaide. Goodwin had it and lost it. Diving in there was Bode. Whelan wraps him up. And the umpire will come in and throw it up.
Simon Goodwin nearly completed that mark. Managed to hold out his opponent. He would have been shooting from 30 metres out. 61 plays 18. Nearly 10 minutes gone in the third term. Adelaide got off to a slow start. They led by only 12 points after having the breeze in the first term, but they've gained a little bit of momentum since. As the ball goes out towards the boundary line. Beautiful one-handed pick-up by Burton. Kept it in play, or did he? I think the umpire may have been obscured. The crowd loved it, though, because the pass has gone in and found Mark Rasciuto. And I would suggest, Jared, that he'd love to bang this one through and then have a quick word to Simon Godfrey.
Yeah, just on Simon Godfrey, as we have a look at the Birdman, just extend the wing to its fullest extremity. Some would have argued a home-down decision. Others would have said he got it centimetre perfect. But just on Godfrey, we've got a classic example of why the third umpire, I think, needs to be used a little bit more to protect the ball winner. Simon Godfrey is running in front of Rasciuto. He's scragging him. He's taking him away from the footy and he's taking him out of the contest. When the ball's not there within 5 metres, he surely should be getting some free kicks from the third umpire.
Adelaide lead by 43 points. Rasciuto has kicked 1 in the first term, which technically was touched. He lines up from 51 out and he's kicked his second.
Right to the pump. There it is. Well, Kim, you said it all. You predicted it, and the bump was duly forthcoming. And, well, we've got a bit of a push and shove. Players just deciding there whether it's going to be a full reward from their payment or whether they're going to donate some to the AFL for wrestling charges.
So a free kick plucked out of all of that. It's going the way of the Demons in the centre, and it's White. So the centre square, well, the centre infringement goes to White. He goes forward to Jolly. Robertson's tackled. Down to Godfrey. Can he return the favour? He snaps at goal. I think he has. This will be interesting. Just goes over to Mark Rasciuto and says, anything you can do, I can do too.
Field. White is there. Clark picked it up. The handball went out wide. Rasciuto picks up another possession over towards Doughty. Adelaide inside 50 again. Nicholson spent the first half on the bench, tried to crash his way through. So does Walsh. Nicholson over the top again. This game has livened up a little bit. So the D's are having a crack, but they're not winning on the scoreboard at the moment. Brian Benke just pulling an opponent out of the pack. And I think at the bottom of that pack was Simon Goodwin. Goodwin, a class act, a dual All-Australian. We'll have a bounce down about 35 metres out the right forward pocket, northern end of Football Park. In fact, the throw up, as we do in the Wizard Cup. Umpire nearly got in the way. Oh, Welsh went through strongly. Nicholson did well to ride the bump, and then they're onto him. Well, the free kick goes the way of Melbourne. Wheatley farmed it out towards Brown, and now in turn the ball comes out to David Robbins. Has the luxury of a bounce. Oh, got the handball away. White with the football now, goes back infield. They're doing it a little bit hard. Funk with the ball, the former Richmond player. Got it to Travis Johnston, set him up a little bit. Great tackle by Burton and held to him, and rightly so, I think. The crowd not happy, but you'd expect that. They're a smidge biased here at Football Park.
Well, I didn't think there was any prior opportunity. We'll go down to the boundary line and get a feel for the excitement levels down there, because they've certainly found some voice, the Adelaide fans. And, well, they've livened up what could have been a pretty dull second half.
So in the middle of the ground, it's Adelaide by 43 points. Adelaide 10-7-67, Melbourne 3-6-24. We've gone 14 minutes in this third term. A kick from Johnston towards half forward. Players on both sides having to commit themselves. That was Stenglein, taken down in the tackle. Plenty of players around the football again, as you can see there on your screen. Kane Johnson in there working for Adelaide. A free kick's been plucked out. It's going to the Demons.
Very quickly, Mark Rashudo off the ground, just getting him out of the hood of the kitchen and hopefully preventing him from being reported.
Yes, Jared, looking just to settle him down, I think. Robert Shirley is a renowned tagger, so certainly from that point of view, Gary Ayres has thrown it back to Neil Danaher to make some sort of move now.
So Robbins to White. An interesting contest if they put Shirley onto Godfrey. They could tag each other. McDonald will go inside 50. It clears the head of Green to the forward pocket. Tries to soccer it off the ground and hits the post. A flashback to his Manchester United days there. One behind to Brad Green. And the Demons move to 3-7-25. Adelaide at 10-7-67. The margin is 42 points. We've gone 15 minutes in this third term at Football Park.
Ben Hart brought the ball back into play, found Bickley. Here's a couple of bounces. Beautiful conditions here at Football Park as the ball is put out towards Doughty. It sat nicely on the first bounce. They're inside 50 now, and Goodwin's on the end of it. So they're moving well, Adelaide, and they've got a loose player, and that is Nelson, and he's kicked the goal.
Adelaide kicks towards half forward. On the bounce, it's taken by Binky. By hand to Goodwin. He'll kick it inside 50. There's Burton there. Over the top came Welsh late. Spills to ground level. There's Binky again to follow it up. Right foot shot at goal from Brian Binky. Misses to the far side and through for one behind. So Adelaide's lead extends to 49 points. Adelaide 11-8-74. Melbourne at 3-7-25. We've gone almost 17 minutes in this third term at Football Park. And Adelaide well on their way to a semi-final berth in next weekend's Wizard Cup.
It's looking good at this stage for Adelaide supporters. 16,122 people here at Football Park. A pretty good crowd, not huge, considering the conditions. Broadbridge has the football. That kick was fairly ordinary as he's picked out the big ruckman for Adelaide in Matthew Clark. Had a good season last year, struggled in his first year. Put it up looking for Biglands, couldn't take the mark, had two cracks at it. Burton very good with the handball, out to the runner, Binky, rode the first bump, tried to get the ball over towards Welsh, he can't control it. Over the top there is Woden at ground level, quick handball out to Wheatley, in turn to Funk. He's got some support there, has to go back to Nicholson, in turn out to White, and he should find Armstrong. He does, the ball was touched off the boot. Oh, that's a crude tackle by Doughty. That was a shocker. The umpire had to see that, and the ball will go back. And I'm not sure why Michael Doughty did that. He had Armstrong under a little bit of pressure anyway. Nevertheless, the ball will go back to Armstrong, and have a look at this.
Crude.
To say the least.
Just as bordering on crude.
Armstrong deep in defence. Adelaide 11-8, Melbourne 3-7, 74 plays 25. The ball goes up towards the outer wing. Players set themselves. Over the top was Clark, but a free kick's been picked out. It'll go the way of the D's. Advantage has been paid. Leoncelli gets it over to his teammate in Johnston. Nice looking kick on. Green didn't take it. He's in there trying to butter up, but can't do so. Bassett's been solid this afternoon. Burton's been everywhere. There's another handball. Goes over towards Smart. He loves careering down the middle of any oval, especially Football Park. He's given it to Binky. Let's see what he can do with a kick. Not a good one, and that's a good, strong mark taken there in defence. And that's taken by Whelan.
And down on the boundary line, Tiffany Cherry. Tiff, you wouldn't have had too many experiences at Football Park, on that side of the fence at least anyway. How's it feel down there?
Yeah, actually, I've never been here before, and I have to say it's fantastic ground. But I'll tell you what, it's almost like there's 19 players down here. The crowd is just going wild every time the Adelaide players get the ball. They're starting to fire up, especially after that Peter Walsh tackle just before.
Tiffany, you wait till you're here when there's 50,000.
I can just imagine it.
It'd be a fair highlight if both Adelaide sides had a showdown in the final of the Wizard Cup.
Be something to look forward to, that's for sure. 49-point lead to Adelaide. 11-8 to 3-7. We've gone almost 20 minutes in this third term. Remembering the Wizard Cup, quarters run 17.5 minutes plus time on as the umpire comes in for yet another ball up.
And of course, Port Adelaide lead the showdowns at the moment by a couple of games. And they love reminding Adelaide supporters about that.
So the Crows have kicked 3-3. Melbourne 1-1 in this term, which has gone almost 20 minutes. Ben Hart for the Crows to Shirley. Over the top to Doughty. He's got some space on the outer side. Kicks towards half forward. Armstrong with courage went back with the flight of it. Spills to the back of the contest. Here's Tyson Edwards. Matthew Whelan tries to shut him down. Edwards round onto his left-hand side. Enough pressure there to force the turnover. It came to Nicholson, to Lee and Shelley, and into the middle just over the head of White. Coming through was Smart. Didn't take the ball with him though. And Robbins to Woden. Will kick towards half forward. He's got a man in space. It's Bruce. Didn't hit his target. Over the top. He's now got two. Numbers went out there, and Cameron Bruce gets absolutely nailed in the tackle.
Well, that is the classic definition of a gang tackle. One player slowing up Cameron Bruce, the other one just nailing him.
Burton hitting him with a tackle. The ball goes out wide from Bode and finds Doughty on the outer side. It's Adelaide by 49 points, almost 21 minutes gone. Ball comes inboard towards Stenglein, put him under pressure. Shirley tries to tidy it up for Adelaide. He's got a man in support, it's Bode. Went one way and then the other. Decides to go out wide. He's got a man on in space if it sits for him. It's Kane Johnson. Gets around. Handball to Hart on the overlap. Great run from Ben Hart. Goes inside 50s. Targets Welsh. Puts it out in front of his face. Beautiful kick. Not much the defender Troy Broadbridge can do about that.
No, that was just magnificent play. In fact, Ben Hart, who's been All-Australian a number of times, he's won the club's best and fairest, a couple of premierships. He has done it all as a club player, and that was just classic Ben Hart, just streaming through the defence to the midfield and setting up a forward for a shot at goal.
Welsh kicks his third. Adelaide get their 12th and lead by 55 points.
Bench a few times. I thought at times he fell out of favour with the selection panel over here, but he's playing in that position in the forward pocket. You've just got to be given game time. It increases your confidence, and you can kick 2 or 3 goals in a quarter, and you can go missing for a quarter as well. It's that sort of position.
Russell Robertson's been a little bit quiet today. Smart was on his hammer and tack then. There's a clever handball over towards Goodwin. Now puts it up high underneath it there. Trying to take the mark. Kane Johnson couldn't do so. Broadbridge in there. Trying to steal it there was Edwards. Now picked up by Rutten. Back towards Bode. That was possession number 18. Now the D's have the numbers here, but they haven't got the football yet. White very good at ground level. Over the top to Wheatley. In turn to Bruce. Gee, they're still under pressure. Constant harassment as Doughty picks up the football. And Binky says, sorry to Scotty Welsh, I'm going to take this one. And Andrew McLeod's pretty happy about that, just enjoying the sunshine.
He's very relaxed. Good passage of play. There's not a lot of resistance now coming from the Demons. And it's because of incessant tackling by their youngsters here. And Michael Doughty, he just continues to impress. He's good at the 1%ers and he's good at the finishing work as well.
Brian Binky's kicked 2. And has he added to that? I don't think he has. He had, but he wasn't happy with the kick. A wry smile there. Brian Binky kicks his 3rd goal, and Adelaide increased their lead to 60 points.
Well, he was a shade lucky there, Brian, because he got incredibly close to the man on the mark. And Cameron Bruce, well, he's just got to be stay on his feet there. You've got to stay in the contest more. That's a young kid. He's an 18-year-old who's put him out of the play. Let's have a look how close that is. A mongrel. That is the quintessential example of a mongrel that's just snuck through, but there's no column for description.
So the Crows by an even 10 goals. 13-8-86, Melbourne 3-8-26. Approaching 3-quarter time. White, 9 hit-outs in this quarter. Going into the ruck. Plenty of players around the ball. Melbourne will get one last crack at scoring through Armstrong towards half forward. Chance here for Robbins if he can gather. Can he beat the clock? It'll go inside 50. Green's on the lead and he takes the mark right on the three-quarter time siren in the toughest pocket of all at Football Park, Kim Dillon.
Well, has been named the Tony Hall pocket after he kicked a miraculous goal in a State of Origin game.
Don't remind me about that.
Sorry, Jared. But they were the days when there wasn't the protection with the super boxes in that right forward pocket, so it's not quite as tough now, but I still don't fancy his chances.
So Green, you can see his angle, he's right on the boundary line. This to reduce the margin to 9 goals. Kick on its way, he's curled it. It's not quite coming around enough and misses to the far side. Through for one behind there to Brad Green, his second for the afternoon. So at three-quarter time, Adelaide 13-8-86 in complete control of the Demons, 3-9-27, the margin 59 points here at Football Park. 13-8-86 leading the Demons, 3-9-27, the margin 59 points after the Crows led by 35 points at the half-time break. Welsh and Binky, the major goal kickers for Adelaide, with 3 apiece. Rashudo has 2 for Melbourne. All single goal kickers, Brown, Godfrey and Peter Walsh, in what was a pretty spirited third quarter, Jared Healy.
It certainly was. Lots of hard tackling, lots of heavy bumping. Simon Godfrey certainly livened things up. He got under the skin of the Roo, and Mark Rashudo put him down in no uncertain terms on a number of occasions. And then everybody jumped in. It was party time. Let's see who can get the humpo-bumpo going the best. And certainly gave us something to get excited about, and everybody here at Footy Park.
So Adelaide's midfield continued to dominate in that third term. Looking at the leading stat getters, Rashudo has 20, Kane Johnson 20. Bode 18 came into the game in that third term. Goodwin has 16, Doty 16 for Melbourne. Travis Johnson, 17 possessions. He's shown quite a bit this afternoon.
Yeah, we said about looking for positives for Melbourne at halftime. He is certainly one of them to come out of this match.
Liam Shelley, 16. Stephen Armstrong, another positive for the Demons. He's had 14 possessions to three-quarter time. As we look at the match stats for Adelaide, he's been busy. His 13th possession this afternoon. Has a man on in space, and that's all too easy. The mark taken by Simon Goodwin.
And just to clarify for the Godfrey family, John Wayne spent his life chasing ornery characters. I wasn't saying ordinary characters, more of the Texan word, the Western, ornery. And he certainly is that. Besides that, he's a tagger.
Well, I'm glad you tidied that up, Jared.
Certainly doing his job this afternoon. In fact, he's still doing it. Goodwin from 48 metres out. Set shot at goal. Not a lot of movement behind the crowd, and that's the reason why. He's missed it to the left-hand side, through for one behind. So the first score of the final term goes to Simon Goodwin, a minor score. And Adelaide extend their lead to 10 straight goals. 13-9-87. Melbourne are 3-9-27. We've gone a minute in the final term at Football Park. Here's Kim Dillon.
As Jason mentioned, the margin 60 points once more. And let's not forget with Melbourne, as Tiffany mentioned, they're minor Schwartz, Neitz, Uze, Vardy and Bizzle, and a few others to boot. So they're pretty undermanned. Jamar was underneath that, the North Adelaide recruit. It was punched away by Clark. Ball comes now out to young Bock, having his first run. He's only a slight lad. And he weighs 80 kilos, 193 centimetres. He's from Woodville, West Torrens, and he also played for the South Australian under-18 side. And there's no doubt that he will bulk up in the next few seasons. The tap goes down from Clark. In there was Armstrong, tried to get a kick away, couldn't do so. Bock on the end of it. He might get his first possession here. No, couldn't do so. Travis Johnston on the bottom of the pack, and we mentioned before, let's hope he can stay sound. He's a very talented footballer and only managed last year due to injury to play 5 games at pelvis and groin problems. There we see Michael Doughty having a spell on the bench. Been pretty good the last 3 weeks. Jamar won the tap again, but a free kick has been given away.
And it was against Mark Rashudo. Rod Jamieson on the boundary line. We saw Rashudo come off for just a split second. I suspect that Gary Ayre said, you're the captain, get your head down and start running and getting a few kicks and forget about the ornery character.
Yes, Jerry, I think you're pretty much right. I mean, he's been around now. That's the sort of role that he plays, and he'll cop a lot of attention throughout the year. So certainly these pre-season games and the season coming up and being the leader, he needs to settle down and just get his eye on the footy because he's too good a player not to.
Well, he fell for the 3-card trick only moments ago. He's in the action again, but the umpire will once again have the ball up, as they have been doing right throughout these Wizard Cup matches. The only time you'll see it bounced is in the centre circle after a goal or at the start of the term. 13-9 plays 3-9. We've had 3 minutes of the final term here at Football Park. Clark won the tap. Leoncelli got the kick away. Comes down to Russell Robertson. Stengline's a tough opponent to beat. Picked up by Goodwin. Goodwin now puts the ball centre field. Woden is there. Should be the first player to grab it. Clever little handball back to a teammate there in Funk, the former Richmond player. He uses the run provided by Matthew Whelan. Let's see if they can set something up here. They've got the sit back in the square, and the mark's been taken by Brad Green. Well, the advantage of getting the ball in quickly.
And a good grab running with the flight of the ball. There were 2 Melbourne players, and he just comes back with the ball, gets the set. Brilliant mark. I thought it was the bloke in front.
I think you were right.
Yep. Brad Green, he could have claimed it as himself, but Russell Robinson, he likes a goal as much as anybody, and he had first claims on it.
He's a spectacular player. Won the Best Clubman Award for the Melbourne side in 2001. Has kicked 117 goals, 87 in his career in premiership matches. He hasn't kicked one today. He's only managed 1 point. He lines up from 15 metres out and he bangs it through.
Towards centre half forward. Out in the lead is Benke, and he takes the mark uncontested. The Crows with the centre break. Pretty clean possession. Benke led out where every good forward should be and took a pretty simple mark.
And a ruck change occurring down there, Rod.
Yes, Matty Clark's come off. He's rucked most of the day and has done reasonably well. Ben Marsh coming on for his first run.
So Brian Benke has been busy up forward this afternoon. He's kicked 3 goals, 1. Kick on its way, going for his 4th. Looks to have swung to the left-hand side. But it's enough to go. Again, his body language, Gerald, wasn't great off the boot. He didn't like the kick, but that's 2 in a row now. But he probably hasn't caught quite flush, but they've both gone through.
Yeah, this was a disappointing one as far as the Melbourne side was concerned. Goodwin got it out pretty cleanly, and then a couple of Melbourne supporters just looked instead of being involved in the contest. And despite having, if you have your man in control, you can still be responsible for the drop of the ball. And it's, I reckon, one that Neil Danaher will address during the week.
6 minutes into the final term, and it's Adelaide by 10 goals, a 60-point advantage, 14-9 to 4-9. And Benny Marsh gets to have a crack at young Mark J-Mark. Originally from North Adelaide in the SANFL. Not sure who got that one, but it came down towards Ben Nelson. Nelson couldn't control it. Loose ball comes out. Crow having a run as well. He's given away a free kick. And the free kick will go the way of the big chap, Mark J-Mark. Recruited from North Adelaide, originally from Port Pirie, northern country town in South Australia. And he's got the ball over towards Stephen Armstrong, one of his close mates that he's made since moving over to Melbourne. And the D's go forward. They're just inside 50. They'll need some support, and it comes in the form of Whelan. He just goes backwards there for a while, then chips around his body on the left, and he's found Green, who takes a good diving mark, but I would suggest just a smidge too far out to score.
We saw some good hands there from Luke Molan. Jared, the #1 draft pick, got his first touch in the game, gathered cleanly, kept his head and dished out a handball.
Would have liked to have seen a bit more of him today, but no doubt he will get his opportunities.
Well, Green fancies himself. He's about to have a crack, but he'll have to kick from 55. Members side, half forward flank. Very congested inside their 50. So he's committed to kicking for goal, and he's put it up towards the head of the square. A number of players go up, trying to crash his way through was Robbins. Got the handball over the top to Travis Johnston. Had a mid-air shot, and he's managed to point out of that, so the margin back to 59.
Down on the boundary line, Tiff, you would have seen Ross Funk come from the ground. He was one of those players that perhaps could have gone for that loose ball in the back line. Did he come from the ground and go to the phone?
He certainly did. He went straight to the phone and just had a few words with Danaher, who's now just sitting on the boundary line and watching the game.
So it's 59 points the margin. We've gone 8 minutes in this final term. Adelaide in control here at Football Park. Goodwin gets it out of traffic to Johnson, to Nelson. Kick wasn't great off the boot, but Rutten was playing in front. Dished out a handball backwards to Marsh. They've got some numbers out on the outer side here. The ball comes to Goodwin from Johnson. He has a bounce. He runs to 55. He runs to the 50 now. Kicks towards the goal spot. So Brian Benke And a chance to add his 5th here. It's been a pretty handy day for him. 12 possessions, 5 marks, 4 goals, 1. That was a very, very clever mark.
Well, that's his great strength. Conversion perhaps needs to improve, but that was a sitter, and he did it well.
To Brian Binky's 5th goal, 5-1 for the afternoon. In underneath his Marsh, stood his ground, didn't get off the ground, but managed to get it down towards Tyson Edwards. He arcs around onto the left boot and looks for Marsh again. That was wasn't really the old 1-2, but it nearly happened. Now it comes to Burton, weaves a little bit of magic. Inside 50 again, Rashudo just lurking, maybe playing out a full forward now. Gets the ball back and lining up there and having a shot is Rutten. And I think he has kicked his 2nd goal for the game. He has. Well, it's party time for Adelaide now. This is a very handy advantage. Melbourne 4-10-34. Adelaide 16-9-105.
Yeah, just a training drill now, and Gary Ayres, he'll be just hoping that they can complete this last quarter, maintaining the disciplines and the strategies that he's put in place. They're having a field day up forward. The defence not getting all that much of a workout just at the moment. But Mark Rashudo, as you said, Kim, is playing now from the square. And he's probably got Simon Godfrey in a position where he's going to be most exposed.
So the margin now out to 71 points. If the floodgates haven't opened, the rivets are starting to at least pop off the dam wall, I'd suggest. Comes out to Welsh. To Bock. Towards half forward. Chance here for Adelaide again at the fall of the ball. It's Goodwin. Sweeps the handball inside. They're lining up at the moment. Here's Bock from 50. Goes short. And the mark is taken by Bode. Signs not good for the Demons here. We could be looking at a 100-point ball game, Jared, if things don't tighten up through the midfield.
Yeah, but in effect, the scoreline is irrelevant now for both of these sides. The Crows are into the final. Melbourne are just trialling some kids. But I guess of concern from Neil Danaher would be that a number of his senior players just haven't been involved in this last quarter, haven't been involved too much in the last half. But it's really been like holding back the tide. They do need a bit more strength around the ground and need a few more their more experienced players to help them out.
So Matthew Bode, his 19th possession for the afternoon, has been impressive. Kick on its way. Beautiful kick straight through the middle for another one to Adelaide.
Well, the margin now 71 points as the D's go forward through Travis Johnston, and Robertson takes the mark, but it doesn't matter because he disposed of Tyson Stenglein illegally. The boy recruited from Subiaco pops it over towards Nelson. Nelson in turn to Kane Johnson as they go up the centre corridor. At the bottom of the pack there is Bode, possession number 20. Tried to get it over towards Welsh. It wasn't effective. Whelan crashed his way through. Tried it the second time. The umpire said, sorry, that's holding the ball. And will the advantage be paid? No, it will go back.
Well, it was a great gang tackle. One man will come up with an effective tackle count in Kane Johnson, but 4 players were involved in establishing the count.
Possession number 25 for Kane Johnson. Got it out to Marsh, and another mark's been taken out there. And underneath it is Benke, just having a word there to Alistair Nicholson. Well, it's been played with some passion. Now, what do you think they're saying here, Jared?
I'll see you at Sammy's for dinner tonight.
Sammy's on the marina. Benke lining up for goal number 6. Tough angle, this one. Nearly the 14-minute mark. For the final term, Brian Benke has kicked 5. Make that
6. 3 goals in the final term to Brian Benke, 6 for the afternoon. And Adelaide extend their lead now to 83 points. We've gone 14 minutes in this final quarter at Football Park. And as we mentioned moments ago, Jared, for Brian Benke to come away with a 6-goal haul, It may be a Wizard Cup game, but still great for the confidence.
Confidence just goes skyrocketing. Not just his confidence, but also the coaching panel's confidence in him.
So Benke with 6 goals. That last one flew off the boot, as true as you like. A couple of them maybe not so good, but that one he was pretty happy with it. Let's go down to the boundary, Tiffany Cherry.
Yes, Matthew Whelan's just come off. It looks like he's injured his ankle. They've just applied ice to him, but obviously he's not going to have any impact on the game, nor is Melbourne at this stage.
So the ball in the defensive 50 for Adelaide. They'll clear through Bock. Comes towards the wing. Broadbridge stands under it for the Demons. But out of the contest, seemingly, was Scott Welsh. Judged it beautifully, took the mark. Bock runs on. Good play from the youngster. Spears it inside 50 to another youngster, Rutten. One grab, two grabs, couldn't take the mark. Bode crashes through for Adelaide. Players around the football now are Melbourne. And it is Walsh. Will take it to the outer side. Looking for Robbins. The ball sits for him. Tries to get around Shirley. Just screws it across his body. Set it up a little bit for Armstrong. That allowed Nelson to come in and affect the spoil. A free kick's been picked out. It's going Adelaide's way for too high.
Ben Marsh, I've kept a close eye on him. We saw him get his premiership medal under Malcolm Blight. He's just got so much ability. Where's he at right at the moment in his career?
Well, I think he's at the crossroads. He really does have to have a big year. Obviously, he's going to be the backup to Matthew Clark. You'd like to see him do a bit more up forward, and that's his only option, is talking about being up forward. Rashido's taken a mark, and he's taken that only about 35 metres out. But you're right, Jared. He promises so much.
Oh, yeah.
He looks good. He's mobile for a big man, and yet he can often make a lot of mistakes, tends to drop a lot of easy marks, but a lot of ability, and I would say that this year is the make or break year.
There's just so much to like about him. I've seen him go forward. He's still just a young man. Many years ago, truisms in footy were right, and one of them was that big blokes take a lot longer to develop than others. You just hope that the club will persevere, but he's got to come to the party. Attitude's got to be spot on.
And he did miss a year with a knee reconstruction.
Sure.
Rashido, kick at goal. Disappointing finish after a very strong mark. He's missed it to the far side, and it's through for one behind. So 2 goals, 1 to Mark Rashido this afternoon.
There's been a lot of scrubbers down at that end of the ground. The ball just isn't coming off the boot. Speaking of Malcolm Blight, maybe it's one of Malcolm's lopsided footballs they're using out there with a stitching.
Well, there's the man you've been talking about.
Takes the big fly, takes the mark, gives it to Crowell from 48 metres out to put it straight back over the goal. Up by his head, he does. It's 15 straight goals. Adelaide 19-10, Melbourne 4-10. Crowell with his first goal for the afternoon. You just get the feeling Adelaide are probably looking at that 100-point margin at the moment. That might well be the target they're setting themselves for. We've gone 17.5 minutes, so we're now into time on in this final term at Football Park. And as I say, the margin currently sits at 90 points.
And just getting back to Ben Marsh, you mentioned that the big men sometimes take a little bit longer. He's now played 40 games, Jared, so he should be starting to believe in himself.
Crows get used to it again through Goodwin. Inside 50, Benke on the lead. He's having a day out in this last quarter. Rashido at the back, taken forward in the tackle by Godfrey. Melbourne through Nathan Brown to relieve. Towards the centre of the ground, looking for and finding Stephen Armstrong. Impressive performance from him, his 16th possession this afternoon. Armstrong straight up the middle, and the mark there is taken by Michael Clark. Clark's got a man running wide from it's Brown. Good running from Nathan Brown. He took the ball at half back, Jared, and just worked hard down the outer side. Now has a shot on goal.
That's what he is. He's a worker. He's you wouldn't say he's a polished performer just at the moment, but he's a hard nut. He works his backside off, and he's the sort of bloke you can slot into a role, and you just know that he's going to give it his absolute best. And he's one that Neil Danaher, I reckon, has penciled in for a big future at Melbourne.
So he's already kicked 1 goal. It was in the first quarter this afternoon. Kick on its way, launches into it. But he misses to the right-hand side, through for 1 behind to Nathan Brown. 1-1 for him this afternoon, and Melbourne move along to 4:11:35. Adelaide at 19-10, 124. We've gone 19 minutes in the final term.
As Bassett brought the ball back into play, he found Hart, but his kick went over the head of a number of players, but a free kick's been given. It's against Broadbridge, and it will be taken by Crowell, the man that kicked the last goal for the Adelaide Crows, and there's a 50-metre penalty as well. 124 plays 35, and Crowell will want to get this in quickly to Binky, and Binky will want a piece of this. He's kicked 6-3 in the last term. The ball goes in the direction of Rashido, calls out Burton, and Burton wisely steps aside. And Rashido plays on. Loose man is Marsh, and he dropped that one. So he took the specky and dropped the easier mark. The ball comes down to ground level. Nelson paddling it forward, kept it in play. Marsh underneath it, shrugged the tackle, got it back to Binky. Can he kick goal number 7? Not with that one. And the ball out of play.
If we had have started the day and we said that Adelaide were going to kick 20-plus goals, you would have thought that Brett Burton would have played a major part in it, yet he's yet to open his account. He certainly had a number of assists up forward, but hasn't got one himself.
Yeah, done a lot of work down the ground as well. The ball at ground level, picked up by, you've got the Midas touch at the moment, Jared. No, the whistle has sounded, as Burton was about to snap towards goal. 20-minute mark, final term. 4-11 plays 19-10, and it's going to be a big game next week when Adelaide take on Richmond in the semi-final. The umpire to throw the ball up. Rutten to do the ruck work. He's opposed to Jolly. Loose ball. Rutten in there again. Picked up by Jolly. Big fella did it well. Threw it onto the right boot. Underneath that was Bode. Woden. Good tackle by Welsh. Loose ball comes out to Peter Walsh. Went back onto the right foot. Kicked around his body. Armstrong. He's been impressive. He's been the highlight for the Demons today. No doubt about that. Walsh again goes in towards Alistair Nicholson, who plays on with a quick handball.
So the high up and under from Robbins towards the wing on the outer side, but it's all Adelaide. And there's Scotty Welsh to take the mark. Wants to swing it wide. Got men in space. One of them's Tyson Edwards, just inside the boundary line. Tried to step around Robbins, brings it inboard. Nathan Brown goes back with courage, but Burton judged it the better. Play on's the call. Welsh butters up for another possession. Takes it inside 50 and puts it onto the chest of Mark Rasciuto. 26 possession for Mark Rasciuto coming up. He's kicked 2 goals, 1. And Adelaide fans would be just licking their lips at the form of Mark Rasciuto in the pre-season, Gerard.
Oh, I think so. I think we all love to see him playing well. He's an exciting player, and he plays it hard. He plays it tough, and he's just he's a real entertainer because he kicks the ball long. He delivers plenty of hard knocks, and he's going to be a great captain, I'm sure, of this club for many years.
27 goals last year in 2001. Finished 9th in the best and fairest, averaging 20 possessions a game. Rasciuto from just inside the 50. Kicks across the face. Crowell will go the big fly and takes the mark. He had to sit on that pack beautifully, judged it well. You can see his angle there, it's pretty tight. He's looking to give it off. The Melbourne defenders aware of that. They're trying to crowd the space, rather.
Well, he looked like he ran off the line, but the umpire's given him the benefit of the doubt, and he'll probably go that banana.
So when he comes, only about 10 metres out from goal, runs around, there is the banana, kick on its way, it looks pretty good off the boot, he likes it. Adelaide have their 20th goal. So Crowell kicks his second, and the Crows' lead extends to 95 points. It's been a dominant last quarter. They've kicked 7 goals 2 to Melbourne's 1 goal 2.
Big fly. Mark Rasciuto will have to check his grip or his boot polish or something, because a couple have slid off the side of the boot, and it set Crowell up. And a pretty good exhibition there of the banana.
Adelaide by 95 points. The Demons would like this to be all over. Marsh gets up high. The ball comes down in the direction of young Bock. He couldn't take it. Players working hard. The umpire blows the whistle and we'll have a bounce down on that outer side.
And if you have just joined the coverage, the Crows completely in control. They're giving Melbourne a fair old belting, and they're doing so with Andrew McLeod, who's just resting on the sidelines as he has done since half-time.
Yes, he's been soaking up a little bit of sun. Welsh in there. Trying to do the tackling was McDonald, picked up by Bock. Playing his first quarter of senior football. The ball at the back of the pack. Broadbridge has an opportunity. He was the most improved player for the D's, and he's thrown that one. Advantage has been paid. That was dropping the ball. Little Bode has the football. The handball goes over the top to Rutten. Tried to sell the dummy. It now goes back to Bode. Good vision to find Simon Goodwin. The advantage is 95 points. I've got a feeling it'll be 3 figures after this kick. And Goodwin has been good today. This will be disposal number 25.
And certainly drew the approval, I think, of Andrew McLeod. He was more than impressed with that. And I'll tell you what, the Crows have found a player, Matthew Bode. He started off with Port Adelaide, Port Power, and he has been most impressive this season.
Goodwin lines up to make the margin 101 points, and he has.
So the Crows raise the bat here at Football Park. The margin out to 101 points. Adelaide 21-10, 136. Melbourne a 4-11-35. We've just ticked over 25 minutes in the final term. And Matthew Bode, you mentioned, Gerard, 22 possessions. He's taken the ball inside 50 on 5 occasions and kicked a goal himself.
Yeah, he's been a star. He was very close to best on ground, if not best on ground, up in Brisbane. I didn't see the match last week against St Kilda, but he's had pretty fair form.
Last week, 9 possessions and a goal for Matthew Bode.
I've seen both of his good ones.
Edwards. Adelaide aren't finished yet, finishing very hungrily. The ball towards half forward. Wheatley in there working for Melbourne. Crowell's on the bottom of the pack. Farms it out to Rutten. Chance here for Goodwin. Is there time for one more goal for Adelaide? Edwards goes inboard. Bode, the target, stands tall and takes the mark despite some physical pressure from Funk. Handball out to Marsh. From 55, he'll unload. Let's watch it ride. It's held up in the breeze. It'll go to the goal square.
He's got it, Binky.
Guess who? Just to put a bow on a perfect day for Brian Binky. He's kicked 6 goals, 1, and a chance to kick his 7th as we approach the final siren.
That's classic Binky. He's like Inspector Gadget. He's got those extendable arms, and he plucked it nicely.
8 marks for Brian Binky. 7 goals, 1, in a very promising performance, and Adelaide extend their lead to 107 points.
And speaking of impressive, Kim, just getting back to Ben Rutten, we saw him early in the piece, and I reckon you can tell a hell of a lot about a bloke when he handballs. He was so sure. He was involved in the build-up to this goal that we're seeing from Binky, but he just picked it up and instinctively he gave it out. He's got good peripheral vision, and for a big bloke, it's a rare commodity.
It looks like he could be a handy pickup, and well, the bottom line is Rutten and Bock can only improve. Only 18 years of age. But I like what you said about Matthew Bode. He was most unlucky last year after coming over from Port Adelaide. He broke his hand in round 2, and he had a couple of soft tissue injuries and just only played the 1 game last year. But I saw him absolutely destroy Geelong at Shell Stadium when he was playing for Port Adelaide in the year 2000. As the siren sounds here to end what's been a pretty one-sided affair, or a very one-sided affair. Adelaide 22-10, 142. Melbourne 4-11-35, and 16,122 people witnessed this game.
So Binky, the star up forward for Adelaide. He finished with 7 goals, 1 for the afternoon. 3 goals to Scott Welsh. 2 apiece to Crowell, Rasciuto and Ben Rutten, the young man we were just speaking of. Singles to Goodwin, Bickley, McLeod, Bode, Edwards and Nelson. For the Demons, it was all single goal kickers. Robertson, Nathan Brown, Simon Godfrey and Peter Walsh. Adelaide 22 goals, 12, 142. Melbourne 4-11-35, the margin 107 points.
Well, it's been a great display by the Crows, and they move into a semi-final along with their cross-town rivals Port Adelaide. The Crows, of course, will take on the Tigers. We get to find out who Port Adelaide plays, but it's going to be a pretty fair year if you're an Adelaide Crow supporter or Port Adelaide supporter, I think, Kim, and lots of excitement to look forward to in Adelaide as far as AFL footy concerned this year.
No doubt about that, but I think Port Adelaide a little better balanced than Adelaide at the moment. They're a little stronger in defence and a little more structured and potent up forward, but Adelaide certainly some great sides. We know that they're tremendous in the midfield. They go inside 50. Well, there's only one side that went in more frequently, and that was Brisbane by only 1 time. As we go down to Rod Jamieson on the boundary now with the man of the moment, Brian Binky.
Thanks, Kim. Yes, I have Brian Binky with me. He kicked 7 goals today and had 8 marks. And Brian, good solid day up forward. I guess in the second half, the first half took a little while to get going.
Yeah, I sort of took a while to get my legs in the first half today for some reason, whether it was the hot conditions last week or what it was. But finished off with 7's nice going into next week, and we set ourselves a target. We've only sort of been playing a half of footy the last couple of weeks. We set ourselves a target of 3 quarters this week, and we achieved that and then pushed on and ended up probably playing good 4 quarters.
I guess the rotational options you have up there in yourself. Brett Burton as well. Daniel Schell wasn't playing today, but certainly then the taller options you have too. You've got a real opportunity to rotate, and they're all leading players.
Yeah, for sure. We've sort of got a structure worked out where, you know, there's sort of 3 or 4 sort of players that can come and change those positions. And with Roo dropping back there in the last quarter as well, I think he kicked a couple there, so I finished off well.
Brian, well done today. Good luck next week against Richmond.
Thanks, Jono.
So Rod Jamieson down with the man of the moment, Brian Binky, who kicked 7 goals, 4 of those in the last quarter. And if we check the leading stat getters for both sides, Mark Rasciuto 27, Kane Johnson 26, Goodwin 26, Matthew Bode, who was impressive with 23, whilst for the Demons, Travis Johnston finished with 19, Liam Shelley 17, and a big positive for Melbourne, Jared Healy, was Stephen Armstrong, 17 possessions.
Yeah, I like the look of him. He's a very talented player, but let's go back down to the boundary line. Tiffany Cherry.
Yes, Jared. Well, apart from some wounded confidence after that hiding, the only real problem for Demons was Brad Miller, the young 18-year-old who played up forward last week, kicked 2 goals. He came off in the first quarter with what looked to be a subluxed AC joint, so that's probably about 2 to 4 weeks. But apart from that, nothing more to report from Melbourne.
Yeah, they'll be pretty devastated. The Demons, it was one they had to endure. They came over here with a depleted side, so there were always a chance to get a flogging, and it was duly handed out by the home side.
So Neil Danaher with his younger players. Jared, I guess you would say, let's close the book on that one. That's a chapter. We've now got a couple of practice matches before the season starts to build a bit of confidence and momentum again. We'll get some senior players back. We'll get a little bit more structure in the side. Let's put it behind us.
Well, you can put the result behind it. That's fine. But you get the tape out and you use this as a learning experience. They're up against a top-quality side with most of their star players in and firing. And there were some young kids there that have realised where the standard is. If they're to be competitive at this level, they've just got to keep getting and working and getting better. And even some of their mid-range 3 and 4 year players that have had some experience now. I talk of Bruce and Brad Green. Travis Johnson was good today. All the W's, Peter Walsh, Matt Whelan and Paul Wheatley, they can all improve. Ross Funk got dragged for disciplinary reason. He needs to do some more. And Alistair Nicholson, just one of a group of 3 and 4 year players that can get better.